face right now.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Addicted Podcast episode. I hope this is actually working. That's a good point. Welcome to the Addicted Podcast episode number 32. Today we are joined by the usual crew. We have two people that are in the wrong place. There you go. First mistake.
Hey, I'm Buck. How you doing?
And I'm Bio.
Yeah.
My name is Toby.
I reckon if he takes the glasses off and has a hat, I reckon we can do this. I just don't
It's
have any
because he
glasses.
had the hat on. It's confusing.
Oh look, we've merged.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to Addicted Podcast episode number 32. We are joined by the usual crew, Biomechanical and Solitary.
Hello.
And we have two very special guests today, Bockbiertje and Tobitege.
How do you say it?
Hello. Bockbiertje. That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, so you may notice that Sol has been replaced by his younger brother. Solitary Reporter has been replaced by his younger brother, Solitary. So that's who we have joining us today. So how are you guys?
Good.
What the fuck is
Yeah.
Bock doing? I'm going to fit in the bottom.
Couldn't see anything without my glasses, you know?
Literally, all I can say is solitary, man. You wait for it. You literally wait until we start to eat.
Yeah, he's a pain in the
Every
ass.
time.
I'm sorry, man.
So we'll kick this off.
I'm just putting some sweets in, so I'm not that salty, you know what I mean?
We have banned Salt from today's podcast, so anyone that will be salty on the podcast will get muted, and they'll just talk to themselves in the corner. Exclamation mark pod team in the chat. Toby will link everybody. Save you typing everybody out. Wow, Bio is in the media chat. No
What's
salt,
up?
just mustard today, exactly. So yeah, for those of us that are new to the channel, we do a weekly roundup of the news of Star Citizen and... Oh, look at that mug. Awesome. No! Don't put salt on the bottom. Bio, first of all, we're going to start off. How is everything this week? Bio, you can start off and tell us what you've been up to this week.
Okay, yeah, I've been streaming. I've actually had a really good week of streams. I pretty much streamed every single day. A lot of people have come in the channel, gave away a Cutlass Black the other day. What was donated by a member of Addicted. It was really nice of them. I can't remember who won, but it has been sent to you. So if
I
you
have one.
So make sure you check your emails. But yeah, I've got 18 subscribers now, so I'm pretty happy on that. As soon as I get to 20, though, I'm not happy because I have to do karaoke on stream, and they get to pick.
Can I join?
Yeah, I have to pick. They literally get to pick for an hour what I have to sing, and I think Ready Barbie Girl is in the playlist.
I think we should do. There's a couple of good songs that we can do, like a duet, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, that sort of stuff. No, I swear I'll definitely join you, man, just for the funs of it. You know what I mean?
I also made a YouTube video, my very first YouTube video. Took me. I redid it like 20 times.
It shows.
And each time it wasn't that great. I think the one I uploaded was the best out of all of them. Yeah, I kind of was a bit stuttering it, a bit nervous in it, but I thought I'd upload it anyways to kind of show that I am starting new on it, and then it will show my progression whilst I do more. So I hope you guys like it. But yeah, that was pretty much me this week. I have put the link in there, but you don't have to play it, mate. It's just footage that we've all seen before. There's no point in putting the sound on.
Just put the link in chat and people can go watch it. There's no
I sound quite cheesy.
And Solitary, how's your week been? And maybe could you type a little bit quieter rather than kill your
Oh,
keyboard?
can you hear this?
Yes. It's like you're murdering your keyboard.
I have to change the voice meter then, so it doesn't pick it up. Can you still hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ah, good. It's been rather eventful. Very busy in real life at the moment. That's why I'm streaming a bit less. Hopefully this week we get back on the streaming for the full times as I used to do. We'll have a lot more fun. Short but snappy.
That's cool. That's no problem. And Bockbiertje. Do you want time to think about it?
No. Do you want to get back to you?
No, last week I only...
You want some?
Sure. Now I watched Tobitege streaming a lot, and then right before the weekend I received my new glasses, which are reading glasses. I had a lot of headache and eye strain.
We get a lot of headache of you.
Yeah.
Can we get those glasses as well?
Sure. No, but with these glasses, I'm able to stream now and game in general without any pain or massive headaches and tiredness. So
Can I just ask one thing, Buck?
Sorry,
who was the one that? Can I ask one thing? Who was the one that advised you about the how do you call this? The shape.
Shape of the glasses. Well, these are my old glasses. The old frame, so to speak, and only the glasses are new, the lenses. And this is my regular ones, which is almost.
Yeah. I recognize those.
But yeah, they work. That's what counts. So back to streaming, back to Star Citizen, and back to Albion Offline when they are not under a DDoS attack.
Which it seems to be most of the time.
Yeah, always resetting the servers, aren't they? When I come to playing it, it's just always like, servers are currently down. No! Like, everyone in Addicted's moaning at me because I'm not playing it and I can't never get online.
Yeah,
how is it?
They did another reset.
It's good. It's it's difficult. It's a really hard game, but it's good.
You know what it is? I think the game itself is something that I would play. The graphics is something that holds me back. It's something that I really can get my head around. I don't know, man. I don't like that. I like more the advanced stuff. You know what I mean? I can see what they're doing with it. It can play it on multiple platforms.
You like the shiny.
I like the shiny.
The only thing of the game which I don't like, it's got nothing to do with graphics, but with the camera style.
It's like a weird.
I would like to remove that, but that's basically it.
Cool. And Toby.
Oh, hello. My name is Tobitege. I'm a addicted Star Citizen streamer, but I'm not addicted in the team. So, that's the only game I stream. I stream pretty much every day nowadays. Mostly, actually, twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. Yeah, sometimes up to 19 hours just by accident. But 3.0 will probably kill me. So, we'll see.
And you've just started a new podcast on Tuesdays?
Oh, yes, with Avalon 389. He's an actual physicist, and we started on last Tuesday a Science for Star Citizens. A casual talk about science and Star Citizen, and we will do that weekly. It's 9:30 or 9 p.m. Central European Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. On my channel, and tomorrow we hopefully will get into black holes and quantum jumps and quantum jumps and all that stuff. We'll see. It's gonna be fun.
Cool.
And is Bock a regular as well, or is he just?
I hope he's a regular. He's awesome.
I'm just a filler. I have no clue what I'm doing there, so I just shut my mouth. I'm filling black holes. Yeah.
We know you're just a filler, you dirty bastard.
We're taking a lot of questions from chat, and people are very interested in the topic in astrophysics. And there are some people in chat they know their stuff, and it's quite a challenge to keep up with the questions. But
and
it's
a lot of fun. Don't, and they're just looking there going, I don't know what you're talking about. Space.
Yeah, I'm just there to look pretty and to let Avalon talk, so that's a good thing.
And is that on your stream channel or Avalon's?
Yes, it's on my stream. Then Tuesday nights, and we will tweet it out.
Excellent, cool. And so that's cool. And for myself, I've been having the missus has had a long weekend off, which is just like going to prison for me. I don't get 5 minutes to do anything, so it's been a bit of a quieter week. I did some painting on my painting stream on the Tuesday, and I think I did stream Monday. I can't remember now. It's all a haze.
We couldn't remember much.
Are you still painting with Daz on Tuesdays, Miss?
Still painting with Daz, yeah.
I'll probably come and watch tomorrow.
misses doing time. Yeah, exactly. I'm stuck in this. We were like, you don't get 5 minutes, basically. She's got nothing better to do, so it's just like, oh, come look at this, come look at this, come look at that. It's like, for fuck's sake, just leave me alone for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but you don't say that. You go, yes, darling, sure.
And if she's watching the stream, oh, yes, oh, yeah, I'm only joking. Just kidding.
It's a good recipe for poison. Undetectable.
So yeah, and I've been watching Toby and Bock and everybody else stream, so it's all been good fun. And then we've been witnessing a lot of salt this week, as I said, from the Star Citizen community, from some, not from everybody. And so, like I said, this podcast is salt free, hopefully.
I
got
mustard.
Well, we can actually talk about. Oh, okay.
And so yeah, that's that. But if anybody has any questions for the team, exclamation mark question, I think is the right word. Should link to the report, to the document to go ask us questions. Please do make sure you do, because it'll give us something to talk about, because there's not much else. But we'll answer them at the end of the podcast. So
salty immediately. He starts with
how
the
is that
salty.
salty? It's just saying there's not much for us to talk about. That's all. In the news,
I'm here in chat. Yes, Madness. We're on.
Yeah, Madness is Madness is. Oh yeah, and that Madness is also not here because he's too busy. Having a nice.
Too salty. He's too salty. That's what it is.
Too salty. That's why we banned him this week.
We've banned him for tonight.
Right. So without further ado, we are going to start off with some information. So I think we decided that we had done the solar system from last week. Bio. So we'll probably leave that one.
Yeah. I can't remember if we showed it or not.
Straight off with the ATV. So, first of all, ATV was a bit of a short one this week, but it started off with Chris Roberts basically explaining a little bit about why we've been getting some delays, or why things are taking longer than they had hoped, is probably more accurate rather than saying they got delays, because they don't like to think it's a delay. It's just the process of basically, game development. A lot of things are unexpected, and it causes a lot of issues when they're actually trying to put the game together and trying to get these patches out to us. They've said that the majority of the features are complete, and so they're now working more towards just bug testing and getting the critical sort of bugs fixed that they're having a lot of problems with. And I think he confirmed that we should be getting the Delta patch with 3.0 now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's still being worked on. There's still got bugs on it and that, but yes, they did mention that is going to be for 3.0. Cool.
I think one of the main things to take from what he was saying is that I don't know if it was whether they knew from the start or whether it's kind of dawned on them that with 3.0 is going to bring a hell of a lot of media attention, as well as there's loads of people already that are sitting there doing nothing, not just waiting for 3.0 rather than playing the game in its current state. And I think that they kind of realised that when 3.0 comes out, it's such a... Even from when they first announced it a year ago that it was going to come out, that so much has changed in their scope of what they want to include into 3.0.
Yeah.
So that they want to actually hold it back. I don't know what you guys think, but he was saying holding it back to make sure it's more polished than it was other builds that we've been getting.
Is it Batgirl? She did a whole YouTube video recently about it, saying that... Because the original way they were bringing this game to us was that it would just come out. It doesn't matter what state it would be. They'll complete something and then bring it out. And a lot of people backed it for that, so a lot of people have got salty over that. But I don't need to go into that because there's no salt today.
Go ahead.
And then obviously now, so what they're doing now is, like you just said, they want to hold it back because, yes, they want to make everything right, because this is one of the biggest patches they have done so far, and everyone's got such a high hype for it. And I know a lot of us in here are probably quite guilty for that. So we're looking forward to it the most because we're streaming it. So we need something good. So yeah, I can,
You know what I think it is, and I said it a couple of weeks back. I'd rather wait till stuff is better working than get it before and it's not working. I think because we haven't had a patch for how long? 4 months? 5 months?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So before they incrementally brought stuff in. It's different than now when they're basically going to grab 5-6 patches in one go, content-wise, and just drop it on us. There's a lot more to to do than there was for 2.6 or 2.5. I think, you know what I mean. Still a lot of work, but a lot more this time and a lot more to break and being able to break it. You know, so I think we're all excited, obviously, and we're saying it on a daily basis. But it's going to be good, man. Eventually.
Yeah, I like the idea of 3.0 being their very now base of a whole new different type of game. Because at the moment, it's going to be totally different in 3.0 compared to what we're playing now. Like, totally different.
Till now, we didn't have
in the first place similar. I think. Sorry.
You're lagging
this
there.
robot.
You're lagging there, Solitary Man. Your voice. Maybe just come out of Discord and come back in. Yeah, it was. What was I saying? Yeah, it's going to be totally different. But the cool thing about it would be, yeah, you can hear you better now. Is that it's the very base of all the new content. So now they're going to be able to bring things out, hopefully, a lot quicker and smooth it into 3.0.
Fix things a lot quicker with the Delta patcher as well. I think if the problem is arising, then they can just say on a Friday evening, here you got half a gig or whatever, and it's fixed. And that's something that we're missing really now. If things turn up that we don't know about, we're waiting for 3.0 for that to be fixed, for example, or at least patched up, not necessarily fixed. With the Delta patcher, it's going to make it a lot better, because if you see something that you didn't foresee before it came to the life, you can say, let's fix that, or let's bring this in, or let's bring this in. I think it's going to make their lives a lot easier, and
definitely,
let's be honest, and I did it. I've been critical, you know what I mean, but I think it will make people happier in the long end,
Yeah.
Not that.
Do you think it's worth holding the patch up so that we can get the Delta patcher?
I think it's better in the long run, Miz. You know what I mean? Because you can maybe it doesn't necessarily need to be on a weekly basis, but it's much easier for them to fix something or to add something in now, because it's not a complete 30 gig download anymore. It's costing them freaking money as well to get 60 gigs up into an Amazon server every damn time. And then they, for example, have to put only half a gig in, or a gig, or you know what I mean. It's so much easier for them,
Yeah, so we do have to remember, we are in an early alpha. So far we basically have no game mechanic in it except shooting. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that base mechanics, so they are all still coming, and the majority of the back end services are still being worked on, and all the services and with the database synchronization, all that stuff is still being developed, and it's a huge undertaking for later. It's a fundamental stuff that they have to give us now, and why it's taking a long time. And I think the Leverett posted it as well. They didn't expect that many bugs they ran into, so that's also one reason for the moving dates or whatever. So there are so many different areas they have to work on, and they have to finish them before they can give it to us. And of course, we want a stable build, right? We don't want to get kicked out every 10 minutes. Like when 2.0 PTU came out, it was like 5 minutes, and then you crashed basically. And so we don't want that for 3.0, right? So
no.
And I think that's more important that they don't now, because like I said, there's going to be a hell of a lot more tension. We've already got magazines that have started playing the game.
They've got more.
We're going to get a lot of backers that have heard of the game but haven't bought the game. So they're not. And if this much hype that's coming into 3.0, they don't want to release it and then show the world that it crashes every 2 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
Those magazines are, of course, working on a specific developer build on that day, basically. It's not something. It's staged. It's not a build that would have been put out to the public, anyways.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been on like a live.
Yeah,
be prepared for the worst, I would say. We're now not out of the clear yet with
no, like in the
3.0.
Yeah, because in the ATV they did say, like, not in the ATV, on the kind of the schedule update, that they're struggling to get anything over 15 players on the server.
Yeah.
At the moment, because anything around 15, it starts going crazy.
Yeah.
So
but not only that, the picture you just shown,
That was really good.
Yeah, I can put that back.
That was really good, but you could see the blockers, you could see the critical updates, and Avalon told me that because I didn't see the picture yet. He said, well, if those critical bugs are turning into blockers, you could easily you could have a delay again.
Yeah.
For who knows how long.
Yeah. But I think I think we're at the point where you've just got to expect it not to be anytime soon. I think whether they changed their mind on. Forget the whole it was going to be out in 2016 crap, but the fact that people thought it was going to be out in the last few weeks, I don't know whether that, like I said, with this whole, it's going to be seen by a lot more people. Maybe their reaction to some of the game magazines playing the game and how they perceived the game, maybe that made them change their mind and think, no, we need to get this playable into that sort of level of degree to get these people on our sides. So I wonder if that's kind of halted the progression into like we see now with this image that's been shown to us with the like the critical bugs and the these are all the things that are basically blocking them from releasing it at the moment. Just to Eva Carr did this is not to live.
And you can see and feel that they are really full force all on 3.0 because we've seen the picture on Twitter for a weekend work day. They were working through the weekend. We've seen X version in Toby's chat.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Who was working his ass off.
He's on Saturday,
Can I just say something though? Yeah, and that is something that I mentioned last week. Yeah, you just said maybe they're doing it for the bigger magazines or for the bigger crowd to make it better. Shouldn't they have done that in the first place for the people that gave them 150 million? That's what I said last week. You know,
they didn't have the tools then.
At the start,
we wouldn't be satisfied with it.
No, because at the moment we're just playing, like Toby said earlier, we're playing an alpha build. So we're just playing. They're saying, look, this is what we're developing. This is what our internal team are playing. Okay, let's push it out so you can have a go. They weren't releasing it to us to show off the game. They were releasing it to us as a kind of, well, you've backed us, you've helped us this game progress. Here's a little reward. Here's a go of our game. It's not even a game. You can't really call it a game because it's not got any of the features
it's not a game.
That be called
Definitely
a game.
Not a game.
It's just a test build. And what they did is they allowed us to play that test build. And I think this is where it's getting mistaken because of lots of other games have got these early accesses which are, if you like, a lot further along than Star Citizen is. And so we're playing them and thinking, well, this is playable, there's mechanics in there. We were just discussing Dark and Light earlier and saying that loads of features are in there and you can do all sorts of different things. Now,
but it's early access. Hasn't got that. I see that, you know, don't get me wrong, I see that. It's just like, I don't think they should feel the need to make it better for these game magazines or for the wider public. No, you need to keep on doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? And keep on. They're delivering great stuff. You know, the incremental.
That's besides the point.
I think it's just got to the point to them now. They're thinking, right, we're getting this notice now, and we've got to change the way we're doing things. Like we've got to kind of now represent what we want to see the game to be, not just a test bed.
One thing I would like to say about the magazine or press, it's always everyone reading that will jump on the negative part. So if they write, there was a crash or we had multiple crashes, that is what people will see or notice the first time. The game crashed, is still in development. So that is that's human psychology, I would say, that you always fixate on the negative.
Negatives,
So and I understand that Chris Roberts, he is a perfectionist. He wants to get stuff polished as well, not only bug fixing, but also it should look right, it should work right, and with the least crashes as possible. And bad press is bad press, right? It sticks. So I do understand that they want to give us a good build, which looks good, and we don't have to mention 2016 again. So we will get a vertical slice. I'm pretty sure about that, and we will get a good 3.0. And from there on, we get basically the first hint about what Star Citizen will become eventually, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of in both camps. I can see it both ways. I can see what Sol's saying, and I've actually said this a long time ago, that we're just being allowed to play a build that they're working on, and to a certain degree, they shouldn't need to worry about what the public think. They're just trying to develop the game, and they're just pushing out things for us to try while they're developing this game. So I can kind of see that, and I do agree with that. I feel like, to a certain degree, if they didn't have such an open development, that they would probably just crack on and do it. But unfortunately, there's also the other side, that they've now become a 400-person team, or plus now, development team. They've become a much bigger games company, and they are getting attention whether they like it or not. And I think, like you said, I think maybe in a normal world they would probably just carry on and not worry too much about it. But Chris Roberts is obviously taking some of this negative press, and it's affecting him. And they've been hounded as well and things like that. So it's kind of trying not to get that out into the press, because they can do without it. It hampers their development process if they're getting a lot of moaning and people crying and everything else at the same time as well. So it's a difficult line to tread, really. I think ideally they would probably just rather just get on with it than worry about what builds they're releasing to us. But I think
that's what I'm saying. Should we make it better for a games magazine, or should they keep cracking on with what they're doing already, and that's making a great game? You know what I mean? And well, I see what Toby means. Bad press, but it's tough because there is no full game yet to have press about. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's still that alpha build that is basically just part of what they're doing and progress on what they're doing. If the full game comes out and it's shit, then that's different. But should we really do
but if the best press is coming now, then people will stay away even longer, right?
I don't know, Toby. How many people are already in it? You know what I mean? How many of us have already put money in it and are confident that we're going to get something good?
Well, the thing is,
we are. Yeah,
every day we have in stream people asking, "Is it worth it? Should I join now or should I wait?"
Yeah.
So what do I tell them, right?
Wait.
So
wait. Yeah.
The usual arguments: it's a limited alpha, but you can wait up till 3.0, but you can start to learn it right now.
Earlier,
so and other people just say, "Okay, I want to wait for the full release." I'm here for the journey. I don't want to wait for the release. I want to stay on topic. I want to stay with it. Right.
Same, yeah. But we're the same in that, Toby. You know what I mean? But I think they don't need. Maybe they do, but in my opinion, I don't think they need people like these big game magazines. I think we sitting here and you as a streamer, and Bio as a streamer, Matt as a streamer, Buck as a streamer, everyone that. We are the good press for them at the end of the day, and sometimes we don't agree, But at the end of the day, it's still the best game ever in the making, And
it is, yeah.
We are the ones selling it for them, you know what I mean? It's they don't need these big game magazines, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they just hired a guy who working on GTA 5 as a senior producer. I saw that on Twitter yesterday.
I stick to my opinion. The worst decision they've made is do open development.
I thought you was going to say hiring someone from GTA 5 then.
No.
We're going to have Grand
that open development will give you a shitload of negative.
You mean the schedule report, or do you mean in general how the? I think the ATVs are not bad.
ATVs, everything, and some people can handle it, but the majority is like and whining. I think if you would take the schedule report away, it would already make things a lot better, and they can still give us the updates. Will whine. When will it come out? When will it come out? Oh, it's gonna come out next month.
Is it ready yet? Are we there yet?
The problem we have is a kind of balance, isn't it? It's totally different to anything we used to before. Now, there's an element that they're doing this open development because they do want funds. They still want funding. And they still want people's money, so there's a kind there's an element that we need to get people on board. We need people to be happy with it because, like Toby says, people are coming. Should I buy it? They want these people to buy it. They still want people to be invested in it. I mean, personally, I feel the problem is we're maybe more an objective view on it because we're all big fans of it anyway. And I think, as Max said last week, if anyone says to me, "Are you a fanboy?" Hell yeah, we've chucked money at it. We're streaming the fucking thing every day. There's nothing to There's nothing wrong with that. We are fanboys of the game, but we're quite happy to be critical if there's an issue that we feel that we need to be critical on.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do also believe that if, like, these people that are slagging the game off now, even if the magazines, PC Gamer, all these others all turn around and said it's shit at the moment. I mean, they do make sure that they put it's still in alpha, but they said it's crap, it's not looking great. At the end of the day, when the game is released, all these games magazines are still going to get a copy. They're all going to review it. And if it is absolutely outstanding and amazing, all those reviews they did a year ago, 2 years ago, do you think anyone's going to listen to them? They're not. They're going to look at the PC magazine that's out this month. They're going to look at it saying, 99% out of 100. Wow, fuck me, I'm buying this game. And they're going to go and play it, regardless of the bad press.
I see that.
Most people buy magazines to look at the pictures anyways.
Maybe it would be better.
Depends on the magazine.
That open development.
Depends on the magazine. What are you on about, Toby?
Go on, Bock.
I don't.
Am I muted?
You are now.
It was maybe a bit better to do the information that they gave us, to do that after, let's say, 3.0, to have a bit more of a complete game, and have more features so people can do actually things, and that's just my personal feeling about it. And it's way too early, and we as a streamer, we usually follow all the news on the foot daily, per minute, per hour, and we can imagine how it is for the developers to work on that shit, even with all these different offices worldwide. But yeah, if you look at Reddit, it's, for instance, today I saw someone question, do we have any reviews of this game? I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It's not even a game. Have you?
Are you high? What have you been smoking? I would ask that person. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what it is, and I have to agree. I just thought about it. What Ubernerd said as well in chat. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's business, and the business always wants more money. You know what I mean? And I'll maybe talk from passion. You know, it's for me. I don't have to make money on the game. You know, I'm just there to enjoy it. Yeah. I can see that they maybe need that, or to maybe even make it better, you know. Let's look at it from a positive way. They need those people that read those magazines to. And I think, I don't know what is a normal amount of money to develop a game. Is 150 million a lot? Is it? I don't know. I'm not very good at the figures when it comes to those things.
Usually it's a lot.
Yeah. What if you look at GTA 5, for example, just a stupid example, how much would it cost to make such a game?
That was quite a big
budget. It was 125 million, wasn't it?
125 million. So you're looking at it, and that's a big game, you know. And they brought out a lot of stuff afterwards as well to make it even bigger, the GTA Online thing. So 150 million is still a lot of cash. You know what I mean? Do you then need more? Or
always? I think they're always going to want more, because I mean, I'll be honest. When I first backed the game or first saw the game around Kickstarter area, I didn't back it straight away, and I thought, well, I'll wait till there's something for me to see, because they said they were going to release the Hangar module, and I think I kind of waited for that. But when I bought into the game and got the Hangar module and my first ship, I'll be honest, I didn't think this was a game that we'll be waiting 5+ years for. I'm not complaining. It was just I had no idea. Not. I saw what they were doing. I had an idea. Like, you know, they said what they wanted to achieve, but that was no way was that what I was thinking, that I'll be sitting here streaming this game 2-3 years before it's even developed. And their scope has changed over time as well. Their scope, every time they come across some new technology that would make the game better, they think, well, we've got to get this in, and we've got to get this in. And so there's an element, I think, that people don't quite... They see us streaming... You could blame us. They see us streaming the game this early in development, and they go, well, you know, is it worth me playing it yet? Is it worth me buying it yet? It's not a game yet. That's what it boils down to, and it's still not going to be a game in probably another 2 years. So
if you want to back a development, you buy now. If you want to play a full game, you wait. That's normally the answer I give to my viewers. You know what I mean? If you want to back a free plan and be part of it, and have the money to spare, buy now. If you don't have the money to spare, and you rather wait till a full game, you can't wait. You know, go play other stuff. There's enough out there eventually at the end of the day. I think what I miss though, and that's something I just thought about when you were speaking, Miss. So I remember when someone got me hyped for the game, and you know what got me hyped for the game? These advertisement YouTube movies about chips. Yeah. They should bring that back, man. That's such a money grabber, you know. That got me so excited. I was walking around the house for that freelancer ad, you know what I mean? I was excited. I was going wild. I was like, oh, look at this.
Star one you're on about?
No. You remember the freelancer one? where he went into the jump and the 2 pirates came to the side. Oh, no worry, you have 2 bearing, blah blah blah. Pirate
Coming
gone
back from his job.
yeah. That sort of stuff. I miss that, man, and I don't know if that is because of money. It's costly to make such a thing.
Basically.
But it was good though. That is what got me buying that freelancer at that point. You know what I mean? Oh, I was hyped, man. I was running around the house in my party suit, man, with a trumpet and everything, man. No, I was hyped then. I'm still hyped. Freelancer. I just spent £180. And we didn't have a hanger module back then. I went into work the day after, and I said to one of my colleagues, I said, I spent £180 on something virtual. And they looked at me and they were like, what? You're a fucking idiot.
I get it all the time. People look at me and go, you can buy a house, nearly get a mortgage with that much. No.
But I think we're backing something great, and I think eventually when it's here, it will shut up all the criticasters, you know what I mean? And they will say, damn, it was a bit of a bumpy ride, maybe, like it always is. But they fucking did it, you know what I mean? And I hope we can say that in 2 years.
I ask this question every podcast now to all the guests, like, how much have you spent on the game, guys? If you're willing to share.
I don't know if that it's like asking someone for his PIN code, Bio. Don't you have that feeling? You know, I never dare to ask someone. I'm like, it's about the love, man. Time. It's about the love. You know what I mean? It's
how much love have you given to the game?
All of it. All of it.
I've got no more love to give.
I'm giving it every love, all the time.
I'll take you for some dinner, man. I'll take you for some dinner. I'll pay.
You already know what it is, Board.
So the other thing that was mentioned was that there's no more studio updates coming. So they're getting everybody, and like we just mentioned, that everybody was working on. They've been working weekends and things like that. I'm working on getting 3.0 out basically and fixed. So I don't know what people's opinions are on that, but remember, we're not doing any salt today. So usually,
no, you know what it is.
I think I think they should have taken it out ages ago and just cracked on with it. I think they
we did it. You know, we were like, it didn't show us a lot today. It's the same as 3 weeks ago. You know, I think it's good, man. Let them. It's the same with the schedule report, yeah. As good as in the beginning, how good we maybe thought it was, yeah. Some people use it as a guideline. It has to be there on this date. It has to be there. It can be, you know. They break something else, it goes slow. It's what Bock said in the beginning, you know. You have your stoppers and your criticals. It will constantly go up and down, but some people use this as a timeline, and then that's where
most they're taking it as promises, and that is
taking it as promises, and that is wrong, you know, because you can't put a time on it, you know. You got to give the guys some credit for what they're doing, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, you can't just say, this is not good. No, but Chris maybe found something that he really wanted to put in, or something that another studio made, which they put together with another studio, and it broke something again. It's you can't put a timeline on that, and you know, and I sometimes did. I thought like it needs to be there, but then you think and you sit down and you think, nah.
I think we're all guilty of it because we all just want it.
So all of us.
Like every time you see something,
because we wanted that bad.
Next week. I can't wait for it, but yeah.
It's because we wanted that bad, but
I want it now.
I think that's why I didn't look at the game for a year. So after the Hanger module came out, I didn't spend a lot of time in the game for a while. And that, if you then come back, you're like,
stream's still live.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
For me.
Yeah,
got a lot of buffering here. I don't know why.
Not my end.
I think it's Twitch.
You got
Twitch has been a bit funny lately. With I've had a lot of people saying mine keeps buffering as well recently. So
maybe you're in Twitch being
Twitch.
One thing I would want to say about what Bockbiertje said earlier about the open development. People wanted those details, like the schedule report, something like that. The problem is they didn't want moving dates. That's the issue. They want the information. We all want to know what they are working on, right? But don't give me. But you know they don't.
You give them a finger and they take the whole freaking hand. You know what I mean? It's a Dutch thing. I don't know if this is something.
Yeah, whatever you do, you lose basically.
You lose, yeah, and I think they shot themselves in the foot with bringing that out, because the people that wanted it started moaning about the dates. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, I think the majority still wants those details. I personally enjoy the details just to see what's going on, what is being laid out for the rest of the year.
Well,
but I think the last 2 weeks though they've been dull. The studio updates, just because there's not much to say apart from we're still working on 3.0.
What else do you want them to show? They've shown everything in different aspects.
Not dull, but I mean, like, it's not as like massive and new as what because they're just focusing on 3.0. So
I think
them taking it out and just talking about what they need to fix for 3.0 is a good thing.
You just want more ship porn. That's what you want. Like
Bio
more
is very
reclaimer.
I like saying that image.
Development is not all beautiful ships, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on, especially if you watch the bug smashers. It's all sitting behind there mashing at code and getting things to work. Not everything they're going to talk to you about is always going to be fancy stuff, but on top of that, there's some people that are technically minded. They actually enjoy these technical updates. I mean, there's a part on ATV where he's talking about all these different things, and I'm just looking there going, I have no clue what the fuck you're talking about. But there's lots of people that do, and they enjoy that. So just because you may find one bland doesn't mean everybody else does.
I enjoy it. I still enjoy it. What I'm just I was trying to speak to those that may not. You know.
It's not the ones that may not. They don't have to watch it.
They don't
just not watch.
I'm just trying to just
you know what it is. Everything back behind the scenes. Everything behind the scenes is sometimes even more important than what the eye sees, guys. Because that is what makes this whole shite run. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time is listening to what they say.
And I'm guilty of it. I don't like the technical stuff, but it's so important. It's so important at the end of the day, and it's what Miss says. And people like Toby are like that. You know, they like all this technical specific stuff. You know, and
Toby.
You know what I was guilty of a while back, Bio. You know, when they bring out these ships, I was always like, why are they not working on other stuff? Why are they making new ships? But I think it's a whole separate team, right? It's something that I wanted to ask you guys.
You haven't seen half of it, I think. And they're going to blast us away when they release 3.0. And that's the reason why they don't show anything more, I guess. It's they want to give it all away.
Yeah.
We need some nice surprises as well. So, yeah, it's going to be okay.
That links quite nicely into the next thing that was said was about basically the new features that were coming up for the ATVs, which is going to be the sort of burn down section, the fly. So they're going to be like a fly on the wall, listening to their their discussions on bug blockers and things like that. So what's your opinion on that feature? What do you think?
Sorry, I was reading chat and I totally blocked you out.
Toby, what do you think?
There we go.
Feature?
So we need to work on that blocker right now.
No, I was saying that the new feature that they basically said that's going to be coming on ATV to replace the studio updates is going to be like the burn down and kind of like a fly on the wall. So you're going to be able to hear some of the meetings and what they've said's going on, what's blocking the game. What do you think? What's your opinions on that?
Well, I think it will be
I thought I was going to ask you to repeat that.
nicer for the people that are more into the technical stuff, because you're going to hear more technical stuff, I think, and not so well polished for an actual show. So I'm really curious what they will give us, what kind of information, how it will go. Really excited.
Toby?
Yes, me too.
Okay, great. I'm glad we covered
No, I mean, we saw some clips when they were sitting around with Chris Roberts, and of course, how do they discuss that, and how do they work on those items they have to resolve? And I think it can be quite a good insight how they work.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it just because it's going to be. I'm not saying they haven't been honest before. I'm saying it's going to be 100% honest with
you said they weren't honest.
Bugs. No. I didn't just say that. I didn't just say that. Damn you! Who's being salty? God, stop it! But it's going to be like full honesty with the blockers they've got, every kind of bugs they've got. It's going to be a real eye opener to us, and I think it's going to put a lot of people at ease to realize, like, damn, they are really working their hardest, and we can now see that. I think it's going to be a really good show to ATV.
I would love to see Chris Roberts having a discussion about tour guides in
I'm gonna do like 3.0. I'm planning on
What
doing.
if they're going to earn more than pirates?
They need to do some balancing, and because they're making more money than pirates. It's not a
Yeah, more money, man. I'm literally, I am literally going to do.
Yeah, it's Big Brother game development, basically. I mean, it'd be interesting because I suppose it will tie into the schedule report that we've been getting, where every time we look at the diff checker and it says, "Oh, this has been delayed a week. This has been delayed a week," then perhaps we'll actually see a little bit of an insight to why it's been delayed, or what, like, when they're saying the UI is causing a block, it's like, we may get an understanding of what part of the UI is causing the block. Is it because it won't display or whatever, that sort of stuff. So
I hope we're going to see a pissed off Chris Roberts. Why the fuck isn't it working yet? And blah blah blah.
This is bullshit.
That's reality. That's what we
you
need.
don't want, guys, and that's something that I thought about. You don't want it to turn into a reality show. You know what I mean? Where you're basically looking at monkeys all day in the zoo. You know what I mean? That's not what you want.
Maybe that's
you know
what
I
we
mean?
should just do. 24-hour CCTV.
Feed them fucking peanuts all day. No, that reality show shit. I think it would be great to see the discussions going, but you don't want it to turn into a performance. You know what I mean? That's something that I would really be ashamed to see such a thing. I want to see what Box has indeed. True things going on, but you don't want it to become a bottom line performance. That's when I think you then bring nothing, then just do nothing. You know what I mean? Don't turn it into some sort of reality show where Sandy Gardner is coming to bring in a couple of bottles of Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? It's no. You don't want. Yeah, you see where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be kind of like. It's going to be edited. Let's put it this way. It's not going to be just literally beating and Chris Roberts going, "Oh my fuck, get out of my office now, don't come back." It's going to be edited. It's going to be just like what they want to show of the meetings and probably highlighting specific things. I would have thought. We're not going to get 24-hour dev cam.
No, I wouldn't want to see that. Maybe and coming back on what you said earlier, Miss, maybe we just need to start looking at this diff checker. Stop looking at this diff checker. You know what I mean? Just let it be. Let it go.
If you can handle it, no problem.
It's not that we need to stop looking at it. We need to stop expecting them to hit the dates.
Estimates. That's all you need to know. Estimates.
We've always known that. We don't say soon trademark for a different reason.
Yeah.
But
people still forget it all of the time.
Yeah. Right, so I think that's we've managed to cover his opening statement. So we'll go into what they did show you on ATV, which is the secondary viewport and the render to texture.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
It was fucking amazing. It was.
Imagine seeing my face on that.
No thanks.
Awesome.
It's bad enough seeing your face on this, and I've got no control over it. Anyway, so so for the secondary viewports, that allows.
I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that.
That was like the whole picture-in-picture thing that they were trying to develop before, wasn't it? Is that right? Is that what I mean by the secondary viewports? Yes.
I'll leave you hanging in this one if that's right. I have no clue.
They have no clue. So they all watched it, but nobody knows what they're talking about. So yeah, there was an element. So let me just get.
Is that better?
This up. Yeah.
It was better before, man. Don't worry about what he says. You're sexy, man. Put that cap away. You could do something with that hair, though.
Right, so let me just get this back up. There we go. So they were basically saying that before this new technology they've been working on, everything else was loading into a map first of all, and then the UI would come on top afterwards, which was causing obviously a lot of issues, so that they wouldn't be able to put like effects like glass or we've seen a hell of a lot of stuff where atmospheric effects, like when the smoke comes in, it affects lots of things in the room, but because the UI would come on afterwards, you wouldn't get any of those sort of effects hitting the UI that you're looking at. So everything was pre-rendered before that, basically, and now they've managed to do it so that it renders afterwards, which I think is this one here. So the thing that they were working on is they've made it so that Why the fuck?
Can someone fix that echo, please?
Yeah, where's that come from?
I don't know if it's Toby. Because I think Toby just disconnected from Discord and then he came back in.
Okay.
And I don't
Toby
think he can hear
freeze.
us right now.
You know what this is, though, Miss? This is the kind of stuff where my brain loses it. You know what I mean? I think it's eventually. This is the things that I'm going to be really honest that I have really no interest in. You know what I mean? And I can see people have interest in this, and I think it's a big important. But I can get my head around this stuff. You know what I mean? This is for some more technical people. You know what I mean?
Is Toby back? Yeah. It's
something, for me, this is really hard to understand.
Yeah,
And
we went on to beat detail part of it, which was a little bit technical, maybe not quite so easy to understand. But I think in the easier ways, it's that everything in the world has like a texture. So all the boxes, or your camera, and everything else. Now, before they would put the image over the top of the texture, and that's why you would have your displays and everything. Whereas now, what they do is they render the video that they're displaying onto a texture file, and then they can replace the texture of the box or anything, basically, and it will show that video being done.
If they put it in like Board says, render better is good. I think that would have been better for me, you know.
It just means better.
Render better is good. Take all my money. Here you go.
So what it does allow them to do, because it's a texture, basically. So, like I said, everything's a texture. Where you've got like the glass on your visor and the screens that they got in front of them. They can be. They said by having these rendered to texture, so they can replace the texture on the object. It means that you can have curved images. It can put them on the load properly on your visor, so you can see like the reflection, and it'll allow them to make it so that the atmosphere can affect your display. Okay. So if there is like smoke in the room, it'll go over the top of the UI, and your UI will be hidden behind like the smoke effects and things like that, basically.
Oh, nice.
So it should help you feel a little bit more integrated into the scene that you're standing in.
Nice. Interesting. That explains it a bit more, you know what I mean? Did they explain it like that as well? Because I missed that part. I watched the first part, and then I sadly had to run, so I missed the second part.
They did explain that, I think.
Okay.
Toby's got problems with Discord.
Are you right there, Toby?
It's okay.
Is it okay now? Is it? Oh, brilliant.
There we go. I was worried about you there. You know.
Me too.
Your face when it happened, you were like,
you know. Oopsie. I did it, Toby. Yeah.
Oh god.
Alright, so where's the other thing? Let me just put this one up.
Put it up on the stream.
There we go. So one of the things that they were doing is they were saying that should help with performance hit as well is that because it's rendered to a texture, let's try not to get too technical, but rendered to one texture, they can basically use that over and over again. So if they had like multiple billboards or multiple mirrors, things like that, it would only be rendered once in the viewport, and then that's copied and pasted, if you like, everywhere else. So they don't have to worry about rendering it multiple times. Whereas the technology that they had before would mean that if they had, I think the words they said something like, if they had 12 billboards all showing the same picture, all 12 of those would have to render. So you're talking about 12 videos being rendered constantly.
That's good. We can have performance improvements. You know what I mean?
A lot of optimization, there, isn't it? Yeah. That's good.
We can have rear view cameras now for ships. Women flying ships. Rear view cameras.
Rear view cameras.
When parking backwards.
Yeah.
Rear view, anyways.
Do you think that would help me land better?
I
No.
think Miss needs that as well.
You just crash going backwards.
Unit assisted flying.
It's
I think you just need someone else flying.
You know what I mean?
Needs to pay for someone.
I don't know how. So they've said eventually they'll be able to do like mirror works and things, because they haven't quite got. I mean, what they're showing here is a mirror, but I think it's like the way the camera's on it. But I don't know how far they're going to go with that, because obviously if everything's getting reflections and that, you're going to have a hell of a lot more work to render. Because I know in the hangars, they said that the reason you don't see like your freelancer or whatever in the reflection of the doors and stuff is because they can't do the reflection. So I don't know if they're going to start implementing that in, or whether it would just take too much resources to bother doing that, and they'll leave it as.
They're doing it here, though. If you look at the video that you got,
this video
on the screen now, it is doing it. So can't we then do it in a smaller environment as well? Which is because I would say the hangar is obviously a lot smaller environment than a persistent universe. You know what I mean?
But at the moment,
it's not important. Obviously, the hangar is I think the least important thing on their mind at the moment. But you know, eventually when they get all this stuff in this one done, so they can get it done eventually in the rest as well. You know what I mean? And who cares that I can't see my freelancer in the reflection of a door in my hangar? You know what I mean? I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, and that's probably maybe why they won't bother, because it's too much that doesn't necessarily need it. But then they go to so much detail and fidelity with everything else.
It needs to be all on the same line, obviously. At the end of the day, when you bring a hangar into the full game, but for now, who cares, man? As long as that thing is in there and I can run around it all day, you know, it's just a preview tool at the moment for your ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who cares that all this hangar flare stuff is cool, but you're not gonna sit there all day on stream saying, so this is my chair. This is my fish tank. There's my thing. It's just a nice.
People started like that.
Yeah, well, I started like that. You know, when the first time I sat in that hangar all day, and then after 5 hours, you say to yourself, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know what I mean? But it's a nice extra, but it's not really needed. These reflections in the hangar yet, you know, not at this point in time, I would say. I like this thing.
So one of the things you kept talking about, so this is where I kind of got lost, and I did listen to it a few times, and he was on about texture pulls, shadow pulls, and everything else, and I was just looking at it and I have no idea. He was saying it as if like we should all completely understand what he's talking about. To me, I had no idea. So if anyone of you know what the hell he was talking about with the texture pulls and the shadow pulls and how it makes it all different, then please do inform me. Anyone?
This is a way to shut a podcast up, by the way. Talk about all this technical stuff.
There might be people in the chat that know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, what you're bringing to us now, Chris, but
so
it's all right.
The less technical, the video I think is what we're showing underneath now is kind of what I was just talking about, the fact that it's a texture. So you can see that the screen is then actually is implemented into the console that we're using. Which was pretty cool, and it's good to see all that working. They said it threw up more problems because they then had to make sure that it would know that you're putting a mouse over the icon and to actually give you a mouse cursor and all that crap. Again, a lot of technical stuff that I don't know.
But I'm with Madness on this. It looks really tiny, the font, to read. I'm already having trouble reading my HUDs in my ship. Don't make the terminals even smaller.
Yeah, I don't
just
know what
need
they're
to
going
zoom
to do.
in.
It's unbearable.
I don't know what they're going to do to get around that other than making bigger terminals. Because, like, obviously, because everything's...
bigger font.
Well, it's not just that, though, is it? The screen's quite small. It's like holding... If you have, like, a tablet, it's like holding your tablet at arm's length. Maybe the terminals need to be higher so that they're actually more face height rather than waist height. Because that's what seems to be a big part of the problem is, like, because everything's... nothing. You don't... So I think when we use the terminals now, you kind of zoom into the terminal, don't you? And then it feels
it's like a lot bigger written. It's very big at the moment in the terminals. Because if you compare this to a terminal that we have now, you would have 5 sentences on this terminal. You know what I mean? Where now you could put 20 or 30 sentences. That's how small it is. I think that's what Toby is saying. What they could do is use some sort of a zoom in function as we have now as well. When you interact with it, you go closer to the screen. You know what I mean?
Probably be able to just kind of scroll on your wheel and go, oh, hello.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Like, so at the moment, what I'm saying, I think it pulls your view pulls in and it zooms into the screen. If they did that here, if you just zoomed in, would you be bending over?
Just a little.
When you're outside, it looks like you're bending over to look at the screen closer. It's like,
everybody is like...
Everyone should be at these terminals like with their head buried in it trying to look at it.
Just resting their head on the top.
I can see Madness run past, slapping everyone on the ass.
But yeah, there definitely needs to be a way of... I mean, they must know, they're testing it. They must be able to see that and go, well, I can't actually read what the hell it's saying on this. because that's going to be an issue. Like you said, maybe with the mouse wheel or something like that, where you can zoom in, like you can do in your ships. Maybe if they did something like that, would help. And bigger font, obviously.
Is it small? Is
Makes it impossible to peek.
Screen? How would this look in full screen? Is this different or is it still tiny?
Still quite small.
Still quite
so
small.
Board Gamer says, when you're playing games, you have texture and shadow pools that are using your graphics RAM. The more and bigger the textures, the more pool it needs. But there might also be limits.
Okay. Do you understand that?
Kinda, I suppose.
It
just means that there's like loads of textures that are being stored in your RAM to show them up in the game in front of you as you load as you're playing it. I think that's what it means.
I like RAM.
So like there's obviously things that need to be loaded quicker than other things, isn't it? Really?
That's a random thing. I like RAM.
So what are we on next?
As in.
I like Buck.
This was definitely a little bit more of a technical ATV, I suppose. But if you didn't understand it, you just got pretty things to look at. So this next thing was the camera, using the different cameras to display on different size screens. I think he was talking about. And I think what they were saying was that it would work out what size screen that you're displaying the image on, so that they would then change the resolution of the image that's being displayed. So if it's being displayed on like your Mobi-Glass as a small icon, it would know that it was a smaller resolution, so therefore it wouldn't load as much of the animation or as much as the textures as it would if you had a larger display. I think that's kind of what it was going on about.
Yeah.
So again, in layman's terms, it's good for us because it uses less resources.
Yeah. More optimization.
But what does look good is that when you do have the bigger images, you're getting the full-on resolution and still getting all the detail, which is nice.
Yeah, it's not only optimization; it's a new tech that they want to use everywhere, basically. Not only in
Is this
in both the games.
Is that what it is?
Pardon?
Is this a standard that they want to implement in
Yes.
the industry?
Yes, they want to use it for everything, wherever possible, I think. And this will surely allow us then for later for in-game video transmissions of either NPCs or even player-to-player video or something like that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that they're thinking ahead, you know. I think things could be way different in 2 years, you know what I mean? And these things might be standards then, you know. It's good that they're working on putting these things in now, early, you know what I mean? In the early
stages. And so I don't have the right knowledge, but I heard that this is, or they said it hasn't been done in other engines, so on that level. But I don't know how
security cameras in the capital.
How is it done otherwise?
I think that's a good example of this stuff. That would be cool as.
This would be perfect for my tour guiding. You know, big screen with me on it.
Yeah, you'll be able to put your image up, show everybody.
Means I can lock myself in a room so I don't get shot at by pirates. You know, making more money then.
You could be a hologram.
Welcome.
Well, I mean, talking of that is part of.
There it is.
It was a tour guide. It would allow you to display images of, say, if you was on a ship over a planet and there was a camera down on the planet, it would allow you to display real-time footage of that planet on your ship, and so like your guests could watch it. And then if something happened, like some crazy person crash landed, I don't know who. You would actually see the explosion on the screen. You'd see it all real time, all these things happening, which I think is pretty cool, being able to see all that.
Yeah,
I like this hologram stuff. I think that
you could watch your own explosion live on your own screen.
You could watch yourself crash from a third-degree angle.
You're used to that, aren't you?
I think that brings back the use of the Reliant news van and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
What we said earlier, where we said, okay, you know, we're gonna do races. We have pod races, and we're gonna film that, and people can watch that live, or certain events in game that you can watch live while you're sitting in the bar having a beer and role playing that or the tour guide. You know what I mean? the tour guide could, and it might sound as stupid as it sometimes sounds. I think it's not even a bad idea. You know what I constantly say madness. I don't know why. What Bio says. You know what I mean? I think it's these things. It's really handy for cameras in ship, as Ichiro says. You know. That will bring the gameplay so alive. That will bring such a special gameplay. If you're going to infiltrate a capital ship, you know what I mean? Tactical gameplay, that sort of things. I think it's going to be really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's for that. It's as we saw this rendered texture is basically usable for everything. They want to have for cinematics, for tools or in-game displays of any sorts, and it looks better. It doesn't look artificial. Basically, we don't see the difference, and they can save resources at the same time.
I think because there was a long time when they brought the Reliant out, and they said there was like different versions and things, and I think back then it was kind of saying that they couldn't do like the picture-in-picture and that sort of thing, and a lot of us were going, well, how the hell are you going to be able to do all this recording and video editing and actually make something like the Reliant news van useful? So to see some of this coming on and the things that they can do with it is, to me, it's quite exciting to see. And like, because they showed you that you'll be able to sit in the back of the Reliant with a computer terminal, and you'll be able to sit there and you'll be able to watch what the camera's seeing. And then I don't know how far whether they'll be able to go as far as letting you edit the video as it's recording, but it definitely gives you it opens up the news van option for sure. And I think having these, like we saw it a while back with the drone, and I think it's on this clip, like with the man dancing, but having these drones to be able to do searching, like we've said, searching down corridors, using the security, well, just like we use drones, like starting to be used now. You've got so many different uses for them. It's going to change gameplay, especially like trying ambush stations and things.
I think you can even use it. You can even use it in a tactical way. You know what I mean? You could have a Reliant news van with you as if you're an attacking force. You know what I mean? As a reconnaissance ship that can scout out the situation, and the people that are sitting in a capital ship that are in the Javelin that are coming your way, and you can stand there with your crew and say, okay, this ship is on that side, this ship on that side. We need to go for that Polaris first. We need to do this. In a tactical aspect, the news van is going to be really handy because you can send it out with some fighters, and he can see the whole situation before you're going to drop in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And next to that, the whole news van aspect of it, I think is cool as fuck. You know. These ships are of no use now, but
I've got the news van, and I can't wait to use it. But I'm letting a member.
That's where the tour guide comes back, man. You're going to be that tour guide.
Was that
You're going to be a hologram in that ship, and you're going to talk to, for example, a passenger ship that is behind you, and you're going to explain to them this is Venus, this is Mars, this is you know what I mean. Mate, no, serious. You're going to have a lot of fucking fun with that. If they're doing stuff like this, you know what I mean. It's going to be fun.
I think, you know, like when it comes to pirate stuff, I probably won't stream it. But when it comes to the tour guide stuff, I'll definitely stream that for, one release. Definitely.
Do we have to pay you to watch that, or is that something that we can?
You have to subscribe.
We can freeload on that, basically. Yeah.
I thought we get paid to watch that.
Yeah, you should be charging us.
He's going to show us all the different kind of cacti he finds on planets.
Yes.
Oh, look, I've got a green one, and I got a slightly
and this
blue
one has the most
and...
prickles. Yeah, I'm going to have to give the whole tour guide thing a go just because it's turned into like a funny thing about me. But yeah, I'm going to have to.
It's become a bit of an item, has it?
Yeah, it really has. Like, I've even created a moat for it, so
So I had one of my mods and one of my good friends as well say to me, Bram, can you just mention tour guide about 11 times in this episode? I think I've done it, but no, it's become
on 6.
I think that's good. I'll do a couple more. But it's become a bit of a thing, man, and I think you should grab that with two hands, man. And with these things being brought in, how strange as it might sound, there is an option to do such a thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah,
I think a lot of people have wanted to do a lot of other games have got, say, social areas like the bars and pubs and things like that, and people go there and you get a little bit of roleplay. But unless you're into doing a little bit of roleplay, there's not a lot of reason to go to these places. Whereas if they can do what a lot of people have wanted them to be able to do, so you'll be able to actually have sports being aired on there, like the races being shown on the big screens within the cinemas, or I don't know, they could show like not cinemas, the pubs even. They could show all sorts of different things, and it could be definitely a good reason to make you go to these pubs and bars and hang out and watch something that could be systems away that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise.
You know what it is with roleplay, Miss, though? If it is in the game, you don't have to roleplay it. You know, I think if you look at bigger game MMOs that have a certain city that is really busy, you don't have to role play it because it's in the game that you go there for your trade. It's in the game that you go there to watch your things. You don't really have to. You can still obviously overdo it then and say, I'm here eating my vegan burger or whatever. But if it's in the game, if it's in the game. It will attract people anyway, you know, and that's what I love about these big MMOs, that there is a place where there are a lot of people, that there is a place where while I'm on TeamSpeak or on voice chat, I can just sit around with my mates. That's why you have guild houses in some games, you know, that's why you have these social areas in some games. And there's not a game where it hasn't worked yet, you know, Guild Wars 2 maybe, but in all the other big MMOs, it has really worked, you know, and brings people together, and that is the basis of this game anyway, you know, doing things as a team or doing things solo if you want it, but you still have to go into those towns to get certain commodities or certain things, and that's why Area 18 is there, you know. I mean, that is your social area basically.
Yeah, but it's a social, but there's nothing. There's a bit of shopping, I suppose, but there's no reason to pull people in. But that's what I'm saying. This technology and this thing that they're working on will give people a reason to go there, and I mean, you could even have it as far as mission givers giving you information, and you could gain your information through watching one of these screens or watching one of these broadcasts, which will give you the information that you're looking for. Or like we've seen, wanted criminals even. They could be advertised on these billboards. You could have last spottings of them and things like that, and it would actually
have like a soap within Star Citizen.
What, like a bar?
Sanders.
No, like a TV show. Just have to throw that in there.
Okay, well, is that going to be your other role? Your side bit from tour guiding? You're gonna do your own extenders, are you?
Bringing
Space
extenders.
Britain's Bake Off. I like pies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I think you will always have these areas like, for example, a stupid example, Stormwind in World of Warcraft, where everyone meets up. You know what I mean? Where your main auction houses are, where a lot of quest givers are. You will always have these busy areas. You know, and it's. I think they should really put this stuff in. That's a cool part. You know, I'm gonna chill with Miz and Madness and Bio and sit in that bar and watch Toby and Buck race each other. You know what I mean? Or something like that. I think it's cool, man. It's going to be really fucking
I really
awesome.
like the fact that would be like, because normally when you go into a game, that would just be a scripted video. Like here's now an area called where you just see it going over and over. The fact that would actually be a live race, that would make it cool so much.
Because that gives you reason to go to that bar as well and to hang out with everybody. You know what I mean?
And start bringing bets in and all sorts of kind of.
Well, it's a bit like Final Fantasy, where you have the golden saucer, where everyone gets together on the Saturday because the big draw is for the jackpot. You know what I mean? You could do a similar thing, but different in the form of this. You know, we're going to bet on those races, and you can win a certain amount of credits for this certain faction or this or that. And it's something that only happens once a week. You know, and everyone gets together and has fun. You know, I think it's cool though that they're thinking of these things. That's what keeps a game alive at the end of the day. All these little
just
extra
this little kind of details. Yeah.
I think the social side is definitely anyone that's played from an MMO background. It's the social and the friends that you make on the game that keep it alive way more than the game itself.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have played these games if I wouldn't have. And I had it recently, by the way, guys. I started playing Final Fantasy, and I came into three or four of these free companies, as they call it, guilds, and they were not on voice. And I was like, "What the hell is happening here? Is this an MMO, or am I playing Skyrim?" You know what I mean? And some games have it, sometimes some games don't. So some people like the type hype and only type. I like to talk with people, you know, chat in game, use that voice. There, you know, it's that's what keeps stuff going. What did Knight say? I missed that.
He spent way more on this game than he has on any woman.
Yeah, I'm the same night, Kai.
They're pretty easy here in England, man. You just take them for a dinner and
They don't keep you locked up at the weekend either.
I think my spend on Star Citizen has nearly matched the price of both my computers together. That's crazy.
Don't know your computers.
Huh?
Are those the ones that you bought from CEX or?
The Aldi computer, or not?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, Buck. It's like, is that the one you bought from the Tesco? Yeah, that was in the offer last week. Because they don't know what I don't think you have that here in the UK, Buck. But
No,
I
but
bought
Tommy
an Aldi,
knows.
my first computer was an Aldi. My second computer was an Aldi computer, and that thing was
Really?
pretty damn freaking good. Yeah. A Medion or something like that, or I don't know what the brand is that they. I don't know if they still use it, but that thing was pretty damn good back in the day. It took me 2 months to replace everything that was fucking in it, though. But
Guys, if you got a question, just keep mentioning exclamation mark
I
question
got a
in
question.
chat.
Yeah.
Fill out the form. Let us know. We'll answer them at the end of the show. That's open anytime. So any question is acceptable. If it's a troll question, we'll probably read it out anyway, because why not?
Can I
It's
have a
fun.
bio break?
No, we don't go toilet on this
No,
podcast.
no.
2 liter of water bottle
Why
is
do you want
working
to
against
break
me.
me? Stop it.
What? Yeah, you
You said
can. but
bio
just,
break.
just mute bio break. You're gonna snap bio in half. just
No!
Break
You go for a toilet.
Let's all
Buck,
talk
you
about
go for a
Bok
toilet.
now he's gone. That freaking goat. Do you think there's going to be goats in space?
Have you
I think
guys
he just
noticed
stood
that
up and he's
t-shirt?
wearing a thong.
Have you guys noticed that T-shirt on his chair?
Yeah, keep calm and eat a banana.
Also,
Hey.
they're all buggering
Oh,
off.
everyone's going. Guys, I'll see you later,
Oh.
man.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Right, okay. I'll take over. It's fine.
I'm still
um,
here!
Oh, right, yeah. Bio's here.
Hey! You can go into tour guide mode if you want.
So, do you think with this tour guide, you think you're going to earn more money than pirating?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know why I came out of it. It was just something kind of to talk about, like, and I just said it last time. I think tour guide, there is an org that's specifically specifying on tour guiding out there. Literally, they've got all these like 890 jumps. They're waiting for the new one to come and have this new kind of special, the 600i, is it, or whatever. They're all waiting for that one to come out. They're all waiting for like the new cruisers
Small,
and that.
isn't it, the 600i?
Is Miss still here? Or are you talking to yourself?
No, Miss is still here.
Oh, okay.
But like it's
Annoying that I can't see him.
I think I think you could. I think you could make quite a bit of money for it if people are interested in being.
Are we still on about this tour
Yeah,
guiding?
no, just Miz asked,
I
and
did
like
ask, yeah.
Miss, can you not do that, please?
I think
like
he's going
a
to change
logic-
Addicted from being a pirate org to a tour guide org. That's what I think is going to
I
happen.
think so.
that's,
I think so.
that's the second. That's what the second org's going to be. It's going to be a tour guide org.
This I forgot to say, this podcast is sponsored by Wine Tech Cosmic Shepherd. So if anyone,
I don't have that. I have
will get it. It's perfect.
I have Hobgoblin. It's
Oh, okay.
better.
I'll let you off. I normally have a keg of that, so that's good.
I
Does anyone
keep buying
remember
3 for
this?
a fiver.
I got Coleman's mustard.
Who is it? Who's your daddy? I'm your daddy. You don't want
Maybe he still works after,
did your
well,
mama.
what should it be, 15 years?
Oh, did you? Who is it? What's up? Superfly. Totally off topic. Here.
Who's your daddy?
I'm your daddy. You know why I'm your daddy? Because I did your mama.
What the fuck is that? Why don't I know what that is? Why I have no clue what that
Superfly.
is?
So
It's
good.
Joe Cartoon, that was the flash site of the day. I don't know if it still is online, but
It's still
this
online.
was
You can
just...
still watch it.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, and the
it's awesome.
Goebbels, and it
one of the,
was so
do you
much
remember
fun.
Radiskull?
Yeah.
That was my character name for years because I watched Joe Cartoon and I was like,
Ah!
and it was just Radiskull was so funny. And I think when I played Jump Gate, which was like an old space game, I named my my ship Candy Angel, which is the little doll thing that his thing was in love with. It was crazy.
I have
Crazy
this thing
show.
for ages now, and it's still working.
Can't believe it
Unbelievable.
still works.
good batteries in that.
Can we do something, guys? Can we just all walk away, and then when Toby comes back, he's here alone?
And they were like, "What?"
Too late. And he also has wireless headset, so he can hear everything. So that didn't work. He's just stuffed his face with something. Toby,
what are you eating, Toby?
let us know what you think of 3.0 and what you're going to be doing when it comes live, Toby.
It's just a little seal, man.
What?
I don't know what's going.
What?
What has this turned into?
So anyway, let's get back on track. So for the Jesus. Oh,
Hey, no, put it down!
For the fapping.
That's the last time that Buck was on this podcast.
The last time this will be streaming. Flash, too much flash.
so if you guys want to see me in the future, I will be over on the Mix channel because I will no longer have a Twitch channel. So if you wish to go and follow me over on Mixer, I am also Miserable G over there, and this account will be banned shortly. But thanks, Buck. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, buddy. Let me explain it to chat. I will post a small link. Everybody can see why I did that.
Right, so anyway, the image below. Let's try and get back on track.
Image of
as close as I could get. Oh wow. I don't even know what to. I don't even know where to go now. Really.
I'm lost. I just
So
I'm joining the gym tomorrow.
Gym is for pussies. Come on.
So the other thing they were showing on this image below is the fact that they can change so when they've got boundaries within the hologram that they're displaying, so whether it be on your Moby glass, whether it be on your ship or whatever, they manage to fade out the entities as it gets close to the edge, so it prevents all the clipping and that sort of thing. It should give you some cool interaction from like mission briefings and things like that. They said that they were going to change it so that you could like if you've got like waypoints or they want to show you that you need to go to a certain waypoint, they'll be able to have the waypoints in different colour and just make it all look very pretty, basically.
It does look really cool.
But it's going to make it a little bit more interesting than just looking at your Moby glass and going click mission, accept, and everything else. Oh, you've clipped it as well, thanks. Yeah. Seal the deal. That's it. Get me banned.
I just like the title. Obedient original marrow stinky cheese.
That sounds.
That sounds disgusting.
It sounds hollow. I need to eat more.
So we now lost our soul still there. I thought we lost him as well.
No, I'm still here, man. I'm still here.
It's just throwing over.
People just link his Tinder profile.
So one of the last things they sort of showed on the ATV was the being able, because of the way that the camera system works, is that they can enlarge the images and have like these larger than life holograms and still keep the detail, which I thought it just looked pretty cool. I mean, the fact that when they zoomed right in on the eye of the character and it still had the same detail as the character.
I'm still amazed that we managed to fill 1.5 hours with this ATV, by the way.
I'm stretching it as best I can.
We've done really well.
I'm doing what I
there's
can.
so much stretching. Oh.
A pat on the back. Oh no, let's not do that again, by the way.
Exclamation mark question in chat, guys, if you want to ask Bock how he got that sexy body. And he can tell you all about his keto diet and all that sort of thing as well.
I stopped that, and it was more.
Stretching, like what he did. Like, that's just whatever you just. That was just creepy. Jesus.
The secret ingredient is beer. Just beer.
That's a real beer one. You can see that. That was a good one, though.
Hobgoblin.
Oh.
So, what do you how do you see these sort of like holograms and things being implemented into the universe? I know we talked about like the
tour guides.
No, I meant more like into like with these mission givers and maps and things.
Well, I think, for example, if you have a big fleet, a big UEE fleet, and the commander is sitting back like they always do, these big directors, you know, they just sit behind their desk, they shout a couple of these useless things, you know what I mean, and someone else executes it. So you will see that a high commander or a high general will not be sitting in those ships because he's sitting safely back at his desk and doing everything and communicating with different ships. I can see, for example, a Javelin or an Idris having such a thing so he can interact with his superiors for orders and that sort of thing. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, no,
I just like to go here in the video.
I can't wait to see if it's going to be in the Polaris. That'd be pretty cool. Because we got 3 of them in Addicted, and that'd be quite nice to be able to kind of communicate between them.
Banner Merchantman it probably has an alien tech version of such a thing. You know what I mean? Where it's or the what's the other dudes? The ugly turtles.
The ugly. Ugly turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Them ones.
Yeah. For example, so you'll see that each race has its own version that looks alike, for example. But I think it's more just general communication, especially in the year that this game is supposed to be playing. You know, that is the way of communicating. Just like we're Skyping now, or we're doing Zoom, or we're using Snapchat or whatever. In that time, you have these things that are just the standard. You know, instead of a phone call, you're doing a hologram call. You know what I mean?
Do you think we can use it ourselves in the PU?
I think that's what they're hoping for, don't you?
Yeah, so do you think it's going to be of your character, and do you think when you talk, so with comms, it's going to move your character's mouth? Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Depends on the implementation.
That's in games already, you know, if it exactly moves the mouth like you would do it, but in most games, the mouth starts moving if you talk through the headset, you know.
Yeah, GTA 5 has it, EverQuest did it, Ark's got it, yeah. So I definitely think that's going to be the case. It probably won't, like, form the lip movement to look exactly as you're saying it, but I definitely think they'll have, like, jaw movement.
I agree with that, Kai. I agree with that. Laughing gas. You know what I mean?
Do you think we'd have voice changer in game, or do you think you'd have to do it yourself? Like, so if you were trying to do like a sneaky mission or trying to get someone to do something, and you want to pretend to be somebody else.
I've already got mine, Christopher Walken. I can.
Don't start this. Madness is not here today. I don't want to hear any impressions.
I'm gonna go for Miss Piggy.
But I don't think that's a good idea. And that's something. If I see a female character, and it's pretty tough nowadays because a lot of men play with female characters, but I don't like all this voice changer. I'm going to use a different. I just want to, and that's something. Maybe I'm a bit weird when it comes to that. When I make my character in an MMO, I want it to be a similar thing like me. You know what I mean? I want to see a real representation. I'll live into the character. You would never see me play a female character either, and it's not because we all like females, but I can't really get into the game then, and I hope people in the future. I get really annoyed with people that, for example, in a game like Black Desert, and I know if any of you guys played it, that paint their fucking coach wagon purple or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, it does not represent real. There need to be boundaries in those sort of things. You know, it's the same as you would get a ship that you can paint completely freaking pink. You know what I mean? I think you should be able to put pink accents on, but not like something that could not be in real life. You know what I mean? It's like I like things to be very close to reality, basically.
But if they don't like to change,
not someone running around with a pink fucking ghillie suit. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work for me. But maybe I'm a bit weird when it comes to that.
Until you land on the pink planet.
Okay, me.
Oh my god. That's like Toby's joke of the century.
There's some Muppet talk going on in chat.
But wouldn't that stop people being able to play a female character if they wanted to, if they can't disguise their voice?
You can't stop it you can't stop it anyway. You know what I mean? I always have a rule, unless I have heard them on voice chat, they're all men for me. You know what I mean? I treat them as men because you never know. You know what I mean? You never know. And I've seen it in games, and some people don't care. Oh no, I don't care. He's a dude. We just act like it's a woman. I'm like, are you sure? Some people enjoy that, and because it's a video game, you can be whatever you want to be. You don't really need to necessarily know that this person.
What if he's gender neutral?
Well, what? So tell me, Buck, what is the voice of a gender neutral then?
I don't know.
Do
it seems to be a thing these days.
It it's all the same. It's either yeah, you know what I mean. It's like depending on what gender it was born as, you know. But some people will find that interesting. I have a lot of respect for what people want. You know what I mean? If that is what they want, then let's do that. But, I don't like the pink. Let's keep it very close to realism, though. You know what I mean? Because that's why we all play this game. It's because we want realism, and that's why I don't like this pink dragonfly thingy as well. You know what I mean? That would be a prime target for me. I could have a fleet of 3 javelins is chasing me. If there's a pink dragonfly, it's going down. He's going down. I tell you that.
Run.
Well, then you'll be killing Madness probably quite a lot because he wants a pink dragonfly, doesn't he?
A pink dragonfly and only wearing space boots and a boxer short.
Oh, he will be sure.
We're saying on the t-shirt, I hate the new Gladius.
Oh, night, Cardi.
Start giving fucking his salty Gladius talk without him even being here, for God's sake.
I don't want to hear Gladius today either, guys. Let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
No.
So,
They both brought the salt in.
I got mustard as well, though. And we got burger sauce. You know?
Have you got your fridge right next to you?
Are you streaming in your kitchen or what?
We got Hellman's mayonnaise. You know?
yeah, just.
Oh, go
I got a roast
yourself.
chicken.
That's no mayonnaise.
More Hellman's mayonnaise.
That's just mustard.
We just triggered Bock. Look at his face. he's given up now. There's no more. Right. Anyway, while you raid your pantry, solitary. That's pretty much.
Sorry. Carry on, Miz.
I'm still going, man. This is I have a right side of my desk is full of food and drinks, basically.
You're not living above that shop. You're living in that shop.
That would be a good one, though. That would be a good one. Just give him some money. Here you go, man. Yeah,
it doesn't make any difference.
Is that the stuff that Madness left when he came around? Really?
No, he left the sake. I can start on that if you want.
No, it's okay.
That's still good, but
Miz, what you were saying?
I don't know. I honestly don't know anymore. Kit Kat. So I think that was pretty much most of ATV. Has anyone else got anything to say more about ATV?
I think we already stretched it.
I think we have
a lot,
really.
and I don't think we realized that there was still and we said, it's a bit short in the beginning, but I think there was still a lot of content in there.
Oh, there was a lot to
you know what I mean?
And if you knew the technical stuff, there was a lot to take in if you understand what I was talking about with the game design. So the other thing that was on during the week was the special effects thing that I think Solitary looked into it more.
Yeah, you want me to have a chat about that one?
Yeah, go for it.
We had some issues for the viewers with the Giphy Cat and the previews that we normally use. I think because it was a podcast or a live show, we weren't able to cut it out. I don't know. You wanna grab that first video at the times that I gave you?
You had problems with Giphy Cat as well, mate.
I think so ATV was working by making the GIFs, but for some reason when I tried to do even though it was on YouTube, I don't know, it's because they streamed to YouTube that it won't let us clip those with Giphy Cat or the stream thing that we use, so it won't let us make GIFs. I don't know why.
So basically we had the subscribers we had the subscribers town hall, and they started off about the scale of the VFX basically. So if you have an explosion very close or very far away, how to scale that, how to make that look realistic. Basically, that's how they started off. Something. Go ahead.
There was and they also said it had to look good at every
angle,
distance. You look at it, because it can look really good like close up, but when you zoom out, it looks absolutely crap.
And you know what it is? We've seen this guy on the BritizenCon, the one on the left.
Yeah.
And I love this dude, man. I don't know why, but he's such a cool guy, man. And I'm not interested in this whole VFX thing. But when he starts talking, I start listening, man. I don't know why. And I had the same thing with him on BritizenCon. It was so interesting to listen to. It's so different from most people that come on these shows and so real. He's very real, you know what I mean? Zero fucks given. And I love that, man, about that guy. The next thing that they brought up was that they got a lot of inspiration from books and movies, which I think we've seen. You know, look at the Drake Caterpillar, where you have that feel of the Predator Predator movie and that sort of thing. I think for me, being a very creative person and liking the graphics design, it really describes how someone that
Sorry. You just got a floating fucking disco head. I'm playing the video where you said. That man.
Floating disco.
Oh yeah, Lando. He was good at that stuff.
That's Duck Force.
But the video that you brought up, basically, was the interior damage for vehicles and how they implemented that for certain different types of vehicles, as I said earlier, to accommodate the style of the ships as well. You know what I mean? I think that's something that if you this something different, is it?
It's just a bit of different timing. Like this was when they were talking about the effects they've done on the the burners and the engines and all that.
This was a cool thing. He said he took that from the Cutlass, which I found very interesting. So he took this idea with the afterburners from the Cutlass, so it's similar style. It's like the interiors that are all very. I like that they do this. You know, bring it all to one level.
Yeah, I mean they look pretty impressive.
They do.
The biggest part of this whole thing, I think, was the shooting on planets and the shooting in atmosphere. That's something that was cool as shit. That's 22 minutes 45, by the way.
I'll go and find it now. 22 minutes.
And the different type of guns and the different type of weapons that have different impacts, etc.
You mean from the ship's perspective?
Yeah. I love that. I think that's the first iteration that we see of this fighting PvPing and make the real.
Why did you have?
What?
Don't worry, I'm not gonna say anything. It does look really cool.
I love it. It's
so
annoying
that
that
we're testing basically the different weapons from the different ships.
Yeah. You can see the middle one is the front gun, and the two side ones are the side guns. But look at this part, man. Where the darker one. That looks sick. Imagine you walking around on a planet and you can see a Gladius coming from far, and that comes your way. That's gonna be such a
crazy.
You start running, man, like a madman. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it as well because of that. Just that bullet trail. It makes some really cool kind of movie clips really nice. For you can make for 3.0. That'd be awesome.
You see that coming your way, and you're gonna fucking run. I tell you that.
Yeah, like looking behind you, and you can see this trail of bullets waiting to get you.
So he did talk about that they wanted to make different effects for different weapon impacts then?
Yeah. So a laser has a different impact than a Gatling gun, for example, right. Or a Rattler, or and I like that. I think it's interesting because you saw the middle one, and then the two side ones were he called it eyes. So they had the big balls that had the impact. And they were talking about the new animations for laser as well. So these are the new animations for the laser weapons. Yeah. Big balls indeed, yeah. Toby. So I think for they showed a lot of video for a subscribers town hall, I think.
Yeah.
Normally a lot less video, and I was pleased to see that. The last bit of that one was and I don't know if I put the times in there, it's a bit further up, the railgun. And the effects of the railgun. I don't know if you can...
I'll keep playing this and then hopefully it'll be on there. Oh, there you go.
So you saw it charging, and you saw the rail go up and down. I'm not going to do the animation with my hands, but stop myself right in time for that one.
Go on.
You saw it go up and down.
Show it.
So then I'm thinking
not the Gladius, not the Gladius.
They're shooting all this shooting from atmosphere with these ships. Like, do you think it's going to have a huge impact on the FPS part of the game? I mean, are you just going to get your ass kicked every 5 minutes because the ship's just going to come down in atmosphere and keep shooting at you? Like, you're not.
It's going to be pretty hard to find you, though, isn't it?
No.
Well, and next to that, you need to regulate.
Stealth.
You need to regulate it because people only have a certain amount of lives. You can't have because you know what you're going to get. You see it in all the big games. Yeah, you have a bunch of 12-year-olds that are all going to jump in a ship and only shoot people on a planet. So how do you regulate that? How do you balance that? You know what I mean? It's something you don't want. You don't want to create a thing where everyone's sitting on the planet and just shooting each other on the planet. Basically,
Never fly alone.
never
But
fly
I'm on
alone.
about flying,
No,
I'm
that's-
about when
yeah.
you're on FPS. So if you I can't remember what it's talking about before, but if it raises an important part that if you go and land on a planet and leave your ship and go and explore, like, are you going to have to constantly be worried that your ship's going to be blown up or taken by someone like all the time? And
Yeah.
then,
I think it will. Yeah.
I think that's part of the game, maybe.
Well,
as
they're
well,
bringing the feature to lock your door in 3.0.
Yeah,
But if
that
you're going to
doesn't-
be blasted,
that doesn't
out, you
prevent
can lock the door,
being
there's
exploding.
nothing,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, but it stops it from being stolen, I suppose.
Or a
But I
criminal
think
tour
this is
guide.
trying- Yeah.
Yeah, tour guide.
criminal
What Miz is trying to say is that if you go exploring on a planet, that you don't have to constantly look behind you, because, and that's what I said, because 24 12-year-olds are in Auroras that they got for Christmas are constantly shooting at people on the planet. You know what I mean?
But yeah,
It's-
I
it's-
mean, a basic
tough.
ship is
Where-
going
where do you draw the line?
isn't it? On planet level.
You want to what you could do is zones where the weapons will not fire, for example, but then you're breaking the whole thing like the
But
open.
well, there's certain
There
there'll
will
be
be
certain
some
places, areas that you
fire-free
can't
zones.
fly. So yeah, there'll be certain places that you can't actually fly through because of the atmospheric
That
pressure.
are instance out, for example. Is that what we said last time, where you fly into a planet and you will always take the same route in? That there are zones where you can go without
Well-
people flying there, or
Do you remember the free? I think it was a demo they did where they landed in the colony on the planet on the certain area because they couldn't fly any further in. So it kind of attracted them to a mission. So that area, you couldn't get a ship
Yeah.
flying over you and kill you because they couldn't technically fly close enough to see you because it
That's
would say go out this way. It'll push you away, and if you carry on in there, it will draw you to the ground and you'll crash and explode and die.
no, I think that's a good thing because that will stop people from being trolls. Because that you will.
Whether that
always
will be
get
in
that,
3.0, that's the only thing. Whether that will be in 3.0. That's
Well, if
gonna
they
be-
bring insurance in, as we said before, they might want to bring something like that in because that's
They-
where the biggest. Well, it's going to be. It's not going to be your full insurance, is it? It's not going to be the first. It's going to be a first iteration, but your counter is not going to start right with 3.0. Or
Yeah, I think they've already done some changes with the insurances. Like, I think in the last podcast we mentioned about how people are going to be able to scam that. They've already fixed that problem, and I
Yeah.
thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
So if you stole a ship from a player and you take it to a station, the player who owns that ship will get their ship back because it will automatically take it away from that person and give it back to them. Because like it is, like security's caught up with you, kind of thing.
But how is there going to be a reason for people to steal ships? Then I wonder. You know what I mean? Is that good? Is
Well,
that
yeah,
not
'cause
going
I
to take
think what
away
they're
from the
doing-
pirate
I think what
gameplay?
they're doing is like if you steal a ship and you take it in to sell it, you'll get the credits for it, but the person will get their ship back.
Okay. What I think is, and for example, one of my viewers always said the first thing I'm going to do is take a pirate address and steal it from those pirates. But in how far can you use that address? You know what I mean? Is that something that you can always have as a? And that's how he saw
You'll
it.
be marked.
Well, he says this is my prize for taking that from a pirate. This is my trophy. But if you turn it in, it's gone again. So how far is the trophy? You know what I mean? It's
Obviously, that will still come to that will also come to change when it comes to further down the line as well. They'll probably think of other ways. Like I said, maybe that. Like I said, you when you go to land, it's because you're going to sell it. So you'll make money for that by selling it, and then the person who originally owns it will get it back.
Yeah, or maybe he has to stay in lawless systems, so
Yeah.
security
if you want
won't
to keep
take it off
using
of him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
because
Because then you would have a choice. Are you
Yeah.
going to trade it in for money, or am I going to keep using it in
Using it,
the
yeah.
system?
just keep flying
I
it,
think
just
once-
keep it away from
once that
stations.
ship is flagged as stolen, that's it. Then you can't land it anywhere that's law abiding, or at least if you land it, you're then probably going to lose it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's going to be one of those things like if you're stealing a ship in 3.0, it's probably just to test flight and see what it's like, just for the fact that you stole
in
it.
3.0, I doubt half the information will be there. You'll be stealing ships because you see someone with a nice ship and you want to fly it.
Yeah, so I didn't want to say test flight.
Do you guys think we will have an option where, just like a stolen car, we can eventually turn it into a unmarked ship by removing components or by doing certain things on it or by a mini game or something like that?
I think it would be a good thing to implement into the game eventually, that you could take it to a hacker or someone that's, especially like if you think of it in the smuggler's term, because if a smuggler's smuggling something illegal or stolen, that could be definitely a good career thing if they could learn, or a way to be able to change in the identity of something so that it didn't count.
But it needs to be very hard. And I don't want to compare it. It needs to be an end game thing. Then it needs to be something where you have grinded for 2 months for certain parts.
Yeah.
To even do that, you know what I mean? Otherwise, everyone would do it. You wouldn't have the need to build a ship anymore because you can steal it and you can easily clock it over. You know, I think there needs to be some sort of mini game where you have a grind that takes pretty damn long, or you need groups or something like that. But you don't want to make group superior.
Quite difficult to do, anyways.
You want to keep it very difficult. You know what I mean? But then again, I'm not a pirate, but I can see that people like Bio are attracted to the. But no, he's a tour guide. But I can see that people are attracted to the pirate life. So you want to find some sort of a balance, but don't make it too easy, but don't make it too hard, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be another one of those things that's going to take a long time to balance. You know, they haven't got fully all the ideas of what they want to do or how the criminal system is going to work. There's also, it's like in any game, people will exploit stuff to hell, and so they need to find out. Yeah. And this is one of the advantages of having the open development that we talked about earlier, is because people are playing it now. You'll be able to, before it's released, you're getting to see all these little ways that people are finding to get in and behind the lines or cheating the system and things like that. And I think
it's just human at the end of the day, you know, because people will try and find ways to play the system eventually.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And I think Madness was saying something similar the other day, that he was, people were missile spamming him and being forced to counteract that meant that they learn. And that wasn't, I'm not saying that's a bug, but it's the sort of thing you learn from what people do. They might not have ever thought, people are going to just sit there and spam every single missile, and then this comes up and they go, well, actually, let's charge more for the missiles and stuff like that. So
listen, I know how this works. I mean, you know what you get then? People that get angry. Oh, how come you missed that missile? How come you should be dying? No, because I counteract that, you asshole, because the only thing you can do is fire freaking torpedoes. You know what I mean? It becomes a meta, you know what I mean? The torpedo thing that we have at the moment that people think are unavoidable. It creates a meta, and people get angry if they don't get their thing out of it. But that I think that's the good thing of the game. You know what I mean? It's what you say, the alpha. We will find a way to eventually counteract that. You know what I mean? And so they will have to find another way. Instead of just using a torpedo, they have something that is called skills that they might have to use then, you know what I mean? Instead of just pressing that button, put one finger in your nose and think, it's going to be all right. That's why you built the skill and built more skill and built more skill and built more skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I had somebody on my stream the other day, like I was going up against 4 people. I managed to kill one of them, and then they all decided to lock their missiles on them and fight me and say, and then they started saying, oh my God, yeah, the pirate from Addicted was wrecked, ha ha ha, you're shit. I was thinking, what the hell? Like, you just spammed shitloads of missiles at me. Like, no one's going to avoid that.
They get angry
from every angle.
Go into the US servers, yeah. People get freaking completely and utterly off their tits of it when you do it, when you avoid those torpedoes. Because they came running in with the flag and everything, you know, and thought they were going to do it. And then you basically
that's bad now. Wait till it costs a lot of money per missile.
Oh yeah, but we can't get that soon enough, because at the moment it's very broken, you know. It's broken. We found ways to counteract it now, but in the beginning it was really annoying because everyone was just like, okay, we're only going to focus on that torpedo. instead of getting that, and it's not sold. I think it's a great thing, you know, that people are that have that je ne sais quoi to find out different ways to counteract it. You know what I mean? Out of necessity basically, because you're like, oh damn, I can't avoid it. That it still gives the option to have that creativity to find a counteraction against it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing. I think it's really good.
Well, I think that brings up a good point. Toby's a good one probably to answer this, because like with the current bill we've got now,
German community manager.
There's hardly anything for you to spend your money on and stuff. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of us are going to look forward to in 3.0, because like Toby's made, what is it, 1.5 million now, probably?
One or two.
Yeah, so 1 or 2 million. So like, obviously, if you were spamming missiles all the time, that's all going to cost. So what's your opinion
of
the
cash.
whole, with the cost of repairing and mission rewards and things like that? It's going to change the game a lot. Do you think that's going to be for the better?
I hope it will change it and people's behavior, that it's just not a thing for free like it is right now. You can respawn your ships anytime you like. There's no real penalty, especially if you have multiple ships. You probably don't have to pay anything if you're just toggling between two ships. So right now, of course, I myself, with so many credits, I just don't care. I just can go repair as often as I want. With 3.0, there will be a wipe, and then we all start from scratch, and then we will notice, okay, I have to earn that cash with missions, etc. So it will be more work.
I think it's very broken at the moment because of the fact that we make a lot of money in these missions, and we have only little expenditure. So you're basically making way, and it's obviously good. There is no economy at the moment yet. So we're let's say we're making this amount of money, but we're only spending this amount now, and that's why people like Toby, for example, 2 million. I think Uber Nerd is very high in the cash as well. You know, me a bit less because I'm shit at dogfighting and I constantly die and have to repair my ship. But I think when the economy comes in, and it's what Sonivore said as well, when the economy comes in, you will think twice about using that torpedo because it's going to cost you a lot of money to replace it. At the moment, and forgive me, I don't know the word, but can you help me out? Verhoudingen. The measurements are not balanced out, basically. Is that the right way of saying it? Measurements?
Yeah.
The balance is not, the balance between income and expenditure is not correct, and it's obviously to keep us busy. It's obviously to make sure that no people are whinging on the forum saying, "Oh, we're not making enough money, we can't do the game." It's obviously because to let us go and test all these things out. But it creates metas as well, you know, because everyone's going for that certain thing, and they're not using all the other rockets. Well, that could be for nice gameplay as well. If we find that balance eventually, where you have 10 different choices that do a similar thing, but as for different kinds of gameplay, it's better, you know what I mean? Because you could say, oh, this is my style, or this is my style, and you do not go for a certain style because that is the best thing in the game, you know what I mean? You want to find a nice balance with different kind of things. That's what I always love. I find that always really annoying and good comparison with MMOs. That certain gear set that you go for at the end, no, you want there to be 10 different gear sets so you can have a bit of a mix-up, and not everyone is wearing the same thing at an end game, you know what I mean? And that's the same with the rockets and weapons that we have. What I would love to see is different kinds of ways to approach things, you know what I mean? There are more roads to Rome than one, because then everyone would be flying the same ship, everyone would have the same guns. That's not fun as well, you know. You want that spread out thing where things do similar things, but you can make it your own, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys know what I'm trying to. It's sometimes hard to.
I remember before the currency was in the game so much, I did like a little mini game on stream, and I tried to cost my damage and repairs, and then by attacking and stuff. And Toby will probably remember, because I was the only one that kept playing and ended up in negative every time. I was like, I'd never actually be able to fly my ship again because I keep crashing it all the time. It would cost me too much. So I mean, it'll be an interesting to see in 3.0 how they're gonna work that, the insurance and the ship respawning as well, not just the missiles. And I know they've mentioned that they're going to cost for ammo as well, so that's going to change the FPS side of things. You're going to think more about using the bullets, but then there's the whole ship spawning as well, and whether that's going to cost more, whether it's going to be up to you to earn money through doing these missions before you call your ship out. especially if it's broken and
How many-
things.
How many ships have you got, Miz? Have you got quite a few to go through? Because
Aurora,
you've only got the one, man,
Not
and you
enough.
just keep crashing it. You're just gonna end up being on stream going, yeah, guys, we just
My streams will basically be me being multi-crew, waiting
Yeah,
for
I was gonna
Toby
say
or Bock or
multi-crew.
someone to pick me up and
I think
carry
the only
me.
thing I'm missing is an Aurora. Am I saying that correctly, Miz? Or
What's that?
you own an Aurora, right?
Yeah.
And do you own any other ships, if I may ask? Or
Yeah, I've got a couple of others, yeah. It wasn't
got the
Aurora
cut-
only
you got the
for a
Cutlass
long
Black?
time, but I have got a couple of others now, yeah.
nice. What I never asked you this, Miz. So what are you looking to do? I think maybe I did, and I forgot it again.
My aim will be to be
years
smart.
years of brain damage eventually. But
my
what is
role-
your plan in the game? Do you want to be a tour guide like Bio, or do you want to be a transporter like me, or what's your what do you
I'm
want
going to
what
be
do you
a
want to do?
smuggler.
Smuggler.
He is.
yeah,
He's
cool.
our little smuggler.
I'm not giving anything to
What
smuggle
do
to
you
him.
What?
So,
I'm
so,
the best
so
smuggler
what did
you've
Bio
got.
offer you to become
It's
part
not
of
gonna
this?
reach its goal.
It depends where the goal is. Oh, nice. Yeah. That's the
You
idea
can
of
help,
being a
you can
smuggler.
help Toby out, catch seals, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll smuggle his seals in for
Did
him.
you did you say what did I say to Miz to get him into Addicted?
Yeah, no. What did Bio offer you to join his gang of clowns? Basically, that
enough.
was
A lot of
exactly
money.
what I said.
Right,
Did he offer you
okay,
tours over Venus and Mars? And
I think
Free
now's a good
tours.
time to go to questions. So we're going to go over to the questions and answer some of them. And the first question of the night is from Citizen Shenanigans, and he asks, he's trying to justify getting the Cutlass Blue, but one size bigger shield and prison cells are not worth $50. Do you
They
have
are.
any info on how the blue will be better?
they are.
Well, the blue's being reworked, isn't it? So it just depends on your gameplay. Like, are you going to use the blue as what it's for, and you're going to go capture people and put it in there, or do you think that you're just looking at it thinking that's a nice looking ship? Because the black's still nice and looking. So just think about what your gameplay is going to be, and then decide on that.
I agree with Bio. Yeah, definitely. If you're going to use it as a cop car, use it as a cop car. If you want to become a pirate, you're going to use a black and not a blue. Not because it has a one size bigger shield. I think the shield is of importance at the end of the day, and people will use it for different things. You know
Yeah,
how
I can
it
see the
goes.
blue becoming a pirate kind of style as well because of its shielding.
It could be a pirate faction. So you basically, let's catch some UEE guys and put them in the cells. You know, you can use it for different ways.
Militia, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you mean?
Women.
What are you on about?
That's the only-
Is that
He said
He's
nothing
daydreaming
wrong,
again.
and the first thing he says, "Look at yourself, women."
The first one he's come out
That's
with
us.
for
I
like
know
20
it.
minutes.
Women.
What are you thinking of? Women.
That
wasn't the question, by the way.
Women. I'm locking them in my cage in the blue. Oh. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what you can say that whether it's worth the $50 is more your opinion. I mean, originally it seemed more like these ships were going to be a lot more modular, so that you would be able to take like the kind of how they showed the Cyclone, how you would be able to swap the back of it and change it into different ships, but they seem to have gone away from that a bit more now, and it doesn't look like, you know, if you want to have the prisoner cells and things, you're going to have to buy the blue.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just because at the moment, you know, everything supports them creating the game. So if they're selling them separately, it's better for them. But I think maybe once the game released, then yeah, maybe you can swap it become modular again then, because they did say they were still looking into that, didn't they? They were having problems with all that. But yeah, I just saw what his reply was. He just wanted a better Cutlass Black. Cutlass Black.
Yeah.
Just upgrade it when you
Well,
can.
wait till you see the
You
new
can get-
black and see what you think.
Yeah, well, you can put like better shielding on it, better. Like obviously those bits are going to be kind of like items. Like there's shields in it, but you can't put in the game now. But you can't change them, can you? Like you can buy a better shielding, but you just can't put it to the ship.
What
So
what
you-
I think is if you buy such a ship, buy it for the cells the prison cells, not for the size 5 shield. You know what I
No,
mean?
because you can probably put a 5-size shield on the other one
Eventually.
anyways.
Buy it because you want that gameplay where you could be a policeman or security, or don't buy it for just
Do you think it's going to be better
for
than the
equal.
basic? Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
like you'd probably find
The
like
basic might suit you more because it has more space in the back because you don't have the cells in it,
Yeah.
and you can still put the size 5 in it eventually.
like what's got
you know what I
better
mean?
like what's got better firepower is the Cutlass Blacks can support bigger weapons in it because it uses less power on its shielding and more into its weapons, isn't it?
I'm not sure. It all depends. I couldn't give a proper answer
Because
on that.
they've all got their
I just
pros
look at it
and cons.
from my way. Don't buy it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it because it has a better part on it. Buy it because it will suit your gameplay. You know what I mean? That's always my tip when people come to my channel and ask, "Oh, what ship should I buy?" Buy a ship where you obviously have the money for, and you don't have to steal from your parents or take a loan out, and buy something that suits your gameplay. You know.
Yeah, you will be able to, Citizen Shenanigans. They've already showed the shielding. It's just that the Cutlass Blue will always be able to go one higher than the black, basically, on the shields. That's all.
Okay, so yeah.
I think we answered that one.
Bock or Toby, got anything to say?
Women.
Okay, so the next question is from Citizen Shenanigans again, and he says, "Do you think it's possible to create a..." See, I misread this first of all, and do you think it's possible to create a wizard that will help new players?
You can make a wizard if you want, man.
What kind of game is this? It's like Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Do you think it's
Gandalf
possible
in space.
to create a wizard that will help new players determine their likely preferred control peripherals and config bindings? I mean, Toby?
You shall not pass.
This is Toby's area for sure.
Toby, go for it.
I didn't get the question.
Do you think it's possible to create a wizard? So I think he means like like a sort of click this if the yes is yes,
Like a
this
help,
is no.
like a paperclip.
That will help new players determine their likely preferred control peripherals and config bindings.
They should.
But yeah, I mean, kind of the existing profiles should already do that, but there's just so many different variations and combinations of different peripherals. Ask Bio about pedals; he will be right.
Pedals are awesome. They got amazing concept with them, but they're freaking hard to set up, guys. Like it's taking me.
Don't start.
It took me 3 days.
Thoughts coming. Let me just mute him.
No. It's just if you don't know what you're doing, like I didn't, it takes you a long time to set up. So really look into them and watch videos on them.
I think what he's trying to say is either like, for example, here's 3 scenarios. Do it with a joystick, do it with a keyboard and mouse, and do it with a joypad. See
that
how
wouldn't
well
work.
you perform, and then they turn around and say, "Yeah, you're better with a mouse and keyboard." I think that's what he's trying to say, but I don't know. I would say that's just going to have to be. You're going to have to play the game and decide through playing.
But imagine this, Miss. Imagine this. You have your gaming cockpit at home. You paid $1,000 for the fucking seat and the monitor stand. You got two joysticks. You got pedals, and then you have a computer telling you could better use a mouse and keyboard. You know what I mean? That's not gonna fucking work, is it?
You
So
suck with
basically
sticks.
telling you just spent $4,000 on the whole setup.
You suck with
Better use
sticks.
the mouse and keyboard. You
be
develop
Toby's new
skill for
slogan.
anything. You develop skill for anything that you use a lot of time. So if you stink at doing something, you can still learn using dual joystick. You can still learn using HOTAS. You can still learn using pedals. You don't want a computer telling you, "No, you're not good at that. You just spent $3,000 of it, but better not use the whole fucking setup." You know what I mean? What I think we would need to have is a wizard that basically recognizes what you have installed. I think that would be a better one. What do you guys think about that? So if you have this whole setup that would say, I found 2 joysticks, I found pedals, let's get this calibrated. How do you want this? You know what I mean?
I'll let them answer that question. Bock looks like he's waiting to answer that one.
No. I'm only thinking that Toby is flying with 3 sticks, and yeah,
And only one is looped.
looped. Yes.
Wait for it, women.
I mean, it's I get what you mean, Solitary, but I think it could be quite tricky to make that some sort of a wizard within the game. I mean, calibration is one thing, but yeah, sure. I mean, you have so many combinations. What do you use mouse and keyboard still in addition to one stick or two sticks, with or without pedals? You have a gamepad. I mean, those controllers come with predefined buttons still already, so you just have to find your mixture. And maybe there could be some tutorial with the configuration. I agree with that.
It's always going to be options.
I think there's too many options because you have so many different things that people use. Some people are still building their setup, so they only have one joystick. But it would be nice something if you plug in a second one, it says, "Oh, I found the second one. What do you want to do with this?"
It's the case with every flight sim game out there.
Make the second one the first one, and then the first one like the fourth.
But Arma does it. Arma 3, for example. When I used to do the Chinook flying in the Milsim unit, when I plugged everything in, it said to me, I found this. I found your Drag IR. I found your HOTAS.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with it? Which different setup do you want to use?
Well, that's probably something that's going to come in the future. They're not bothering with
Hopefully.
that.
No, you don't need that now. It's what there is, and Bio despises it. But there is a lot of joy. There's a lot of joy in getting your setup to work.
Like Toby, you linked me that Joy ID thing. It doesn't work with Windows 10 anymore.
That's because you suck.
It does work.
Well, I can't. It won't work on mine.
It's normally the user.
That's a user error.
Yes,
anyway, I think what I was
error.
trying to say is that was the wizard for creating to decide whether you should use a joystick or not. And in my opinion, I would say no. I think it's too complicated for a wizard. Answering a few questions is not going to help define whether you can use dual sticks, a HOTAS, a keyboard and mouse. And I think, like Solitary says, there's an element of it's whether you get used to it. So the more you use it, the better you get with things as well. And also, I think someone made a point on the captain's table the other day, which was interesting, is that you may be better at shooting with the keyboard and mouse, but it doesn't necessarily feel... You may feel better flying with the sticks because it just feels more like you're flying a ship rather than playing an arcade game. So I think to get some sort of guide that's going to tell you what one to use, it's got to be up to you. I think the difficulty is, yes, you've got to spend a shit ton of money to work that out. If you don't own any joysticks, it's hard to sit there and go, right, I want to try 2 joysticks, but I have no clue whether I can or not. So
watch videos, watch videos going on, and everything we can learn, you can learn it. If you're not comfortable with it, I was not comfortable flying with a joystick and HOTAS before, and you try and try and try and try, and it will work eventually. You just need to, and it's what I say, you can't have a system telling you, everything that you bought, you can't use it. No, you can learn to use it. It's like sports, if you're not good at football, you go in training. You train 10 weeks, you become a better football player. It's the same with this, it's all finger feeling. And you notice it when you change your mouse sensitivity in a game. You immediately need to relearn the game because your how do you call it? Your hand muscle memory is used to the previous settings. It's all training your muscle memory and learning it, you know what I mean? It's the same as everything in life, I think, and you don't want really a system that tells you not to do it. I always despise things that tell you not to do things because you can't. Everyone can if he just tries and goes for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like my pedals, they're going to take me a very long time to get used to because I've just been dual sticks.
I used them on the Milsim, and in the beginning, mate, and I wasn't allowed to use them on Saturday because I fucked up constantly. You know what I mean? But you go train during the week and you learn, and your muscle memory eventually gets it. And this is the best time to try out these things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you don't have to spend 400, 500 pounds on a pair of joysticks. A pair of T16000s, you'll get them for a good price. You can even start off with 2 cheap ones from Argos or just whatever kind of shops to test it out, and the alpha that we have at the moment allows us to do that. So we don't drive a 600-pound ship into kaputness. You know what I mean? Because we have the area to try it at the moment. You know.
Yeah.
Did you say kaputness?
Kaputness. Yeah. How do you say that?
Don't get this joystick, guys.
Okay.
No,
so,
never get an X55. Never get an
X55.
We've
got that summed up.
It's the X56.
The next
The
question.
piece of shit. I had it.
The next question is from Dommy, and he says, an odd topic. Amazon owning Twitch and now Lumberyard, do you feel there will be a special section when you're on Twitch for games made with Lumberyard before all other games on Twitch?
Just do it.
So what he means is, when you click browse games and you've got a list, and basically the one that's being most watched is the one at the top of the list. Now, do you think that they're going to replace that and put the Lumberyard games first and then the most watched underneath?
Never, because they're making too much money of all the other games. They're making too much money of partnered streamers in PUBG and non-Lumberyard games. They're making too much money of that. It's all money. Who makes the most amount of money will be on the top. Who they feel needs a bit of an input will end up in the top. They're not going to change that, They're not going to say, "Oh, you all need to use Lumberyard engine now." That monopoly is something they cannot enforce, because they would shoot themselves in the foot, and they could basically throw suitcases of money in the river Meuse. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. That's my view. Sorry.
Bock?
I honestly don't know. I don't think so. I can't tell.
They will promote it, but not constantly. You know what I mean? They will do it in cycles. As
well, the thing is, what would Lumberyard gain? Because they're not gaining through Star Citizen. Obviously, they're using their system, but they're not gaining through us watching them use their system. Like, the more copies of Star Citizen sold, I don't think they gain more money from it, do they?
They need developers backing them, not the players. Maybe because they'll eventually sell more games that are made with a Lumberyard engine. I can see that, but I don't think their initial first salespeople are the ones that are playing it. But those are the devs, the game makers. You know what I mean? That you want to chase down.
I suppose you've got the thing that what it does is it showcases what games can be used with Lumberyard. And so, technically, if they're at the top, more people start watching them. Sign of the devil. No! But I don't know. It's possible. I'm not sure, in honesty. I think I probably tend to lean towards Soul and say that they're going to just be the ones that are most watched are going to carry on staying at the top. But I could see them easily having a featured game. So maybe just one slot turned over to a featured game of the week or something.
But look at it. What is the biggest game at the moment? Is it still League of Legends or something like that? You know what I mean? They make tons of freaking cash with people watching that. You know what I mean? Or Smite or PUBG at the moment is very, very high. It just depends on what is on top of the directory at that point. And Star Citizen is nowhere close at the moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. It might change in the future, but it's just what the hype is, and companies need to move with the hype. Companies need to move with what is popular at that point. And if there's going to be Lumberyard or Unity or whatever, if Amazon can make money with a different engine than their own, they'll try and make money with it. Who wouldn't?
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
All right. So whatever. I agree. So they are selling games. It could well link to that. But anyway, next question is by Frixidus, and it's the biomechanical. And he says, "How do you make a successful org?" Well, when Bio knows, he'll get back to you.
Hey, I'm messaging him in Discord now.
He's trying to recruit you now. That's how he does it, basically.
No, James is Frixidus. He's planning on hopefully coming to the local.
That's what I mean.
He'll get you there. Don't worry.
This kind of question is one of those things that everyone has their own different views on it. Like for me, it's kind of making sure there's no kind of drama in the org, making sure that everyone's voice is heard, making sure it's more like a family fun kind of driven, but with a sense of everyone's kind of got their own way of playing the game involved as well. So we've kind of, when I was creating Addicted, and when I started recruiting for people, I told them what the majority of the people plan to do, and that is we all plan to get in like the Polaris when we can, and just explore the game and just keep on going pirate along the way, and just keep like doing missions, exploring the game, finding everything we can.
Box face.
What is his face like? I'm not looking right now.
Well,
He's listening.
I'm just listening, interested.
So everyone in Addicted, yeah, everyone's voice is heard with anything that we come to decisions, anything. Everyone's been asked their own opinion, so it kind of makes that sense of everyone's kind
family
of
feeling.
Yeah,
And I make a lot of jokes about Bio. He's always very persistent in trying to get people in, but I have to praise him in the fact that he's running something that keeps existing. And I don't have to give examples out here, but I think it's pretty tough running let's call it a guild in a game, because you have maybe 20, 30 different personalities that want different things, that want different, have different views, and how Bio is doing it, I think is really good. And I've been in guilds in bigger games, and I always say keep your guild small. Keep your guild 30 to 40 people. The bigger the size, and I've said it before, like Test Squadron, and nothing against Test Squadron, but a org of 10,000 people is not going to work. It's not going to work. And you will have to split it up into smaller sections if you want to run something like that. It's one logistical nightmare. You know what I mean? If people are just let on the loose, it's like a herd of freaking buffaloes. It's not working. And I think if you keep your org like Bio does, it's smaller. It's very manageable. Everyone knows each other. Everyone enjoys each other. And you will always have the bad apples, Bio.
Yeah, we've now got to 110 members. Recently.
How many are active?
At the moment, because pretty much majority are waiting for 3.0. So we've probably got between 20 and 30 people active at the moment.
Nice. But that's a nice size.
It's not too bad. And these people, and some of these people I've known I've known Yolander for 7 years plus. It's crazy. We've come from other games, and we've brought our people, our what we call family, from other games. It's just it's a really nice atmosphere in there, and I'm happy that I've got it that way. And it's taken some time, and it means that I've broken friends with people because they've caused drama, and I've just kicked them instantly. I don't allow any drama. I don't matter if they're my best friend in real life. They cause drama, they're out. It's that simple, and it's kept a really good positive vibe in.
The only thing that I would say to what was his name, Frixie boy, or what was it?
His name
Frixidus.
is
Frixidus. The only thing that I would say is if he tries to seduce you on the Bar Citizen, just watch out, because he tried it to me on BrinsonCon.
You nearly joined. You nearly joined.
I think I was close, but looking back on it, Bio, and I think the state of the game that we have now, and we can laugh about it, but the state of the game we have now, I personally would recommend people not to join a org yet. Because you might not like piracy, you might not like. It's all still so much to change, And I would join the org if I would join an org, it would be for the social aspect at the moment, not because of
how we're doing it as well. We're really a gaming community, so we're offering every single aspect of the game. That's what we want to do. We're going to create another org in 3.0 for people that don't want to do piracy. So we want to offer every ability to everyone because we're a gaming community at the end of the day.
You Fritz can become the leader of that if you want. So, that's how he tries.
We'll roll that on. I think he's answered the question. Bock or Toby, are you in orgs, or do you run? Have you got your own org?
Toby,
I'm in test.
You don't.
You have seen my belly. I have to be in test.
I think Toby, you're not running an org, are you?
No, I'm a member of a smaller German org, and I hope the 3.0 they will come back to Star Citizen. They are also waiting for 3.0, and but I'm an affiliate with Test, yes, but my main org is a German org.
Nice.
Take-O.
Sorry. So the only reason I was asking is because I was going to get your input if you were leading one, but it's fine. So the next question is from Molb. I'll read it. I was told there was an awesome streamer called Little Bit of Madness on this show. When's he back? I saw him on Captain's Table on Saturday and he was tremendous. Someone is clearly delusional.
Did someone make a second account? Or what is this?
Okay, just note.
He's so busy on holiday
account of Soul.
Is that what it is?
Molb needs to go and see some help. I think
For-
there's a doctor for that.
He's talking himself as in a third person.
Can I say something? For all the streamers that are here at the moment, if you ever see Malt in any of your giveaways, do not give him the prize because it's a second account.
Nice. Salt account.
Soul
Right,
account,
okay,
that's
so
his main
the
account,
next-
Ty. That's his main account, the soul account.
There's another post about Little Bit of Madness being wonderful and let him talk about the Gladius, but I think we'll ignore that one as well.
How many
so
ults
the
did he make?
The next question is from Starnivore, and he says, I am psyched for planet-side player outposts. I heard somewhere that outposts will be open to attack. Do you feel in a persistent universe that they should be open to attack 24/7, or should time windows of attack be in place? Now, I'm going to let Bock answer this one first because he hasn't said much for ages.
I think Buck would.
What? Women.
You look bored, Bock. I thought we'd give you a question. So, do you think outposts should be attackable 24/7?
Absolutely.
There should be an attack window.
Really?
Well, no, I'm not sure about the 24/7 window yet, but they should be attackable for sure. Maybe they can do something with size if it's a rather large base you have, which is run by a big org. That can be meant 24/7. Then it can be attackable. But for us, a lonely guy down on the planet with his
Go
single
for yourself.
modular base, yeah, I don't know.
Depends on the women.
It depends on the women. Yes, absolutely.
I think the hours. I think if you look at Black Desert, I don't want to compare it too much to
Yes,
other games,
We
but they
mentioned
have
this before.
they have, for example, certain times on a Wednesday at 8 o'clock and on a Saturday at 8 o'clock. These things are attackable. That makes it plannable for people. You know what I mean? Because all of us have lives. All of us have. Most of us have jobs. Most of us have things to do. You know what I mean? How do you call it? Family to visit, etc. You want to make it plannable because you can't expect from everyone to be online 24/7. You know?
Yeah, we mentioned this before, didn't we?
I think we did. In one
It's missing
Yeah,
its
and
charm then.
No, if you play Black Desert, mate, you'll see that it works amazingly
works really
well.
well.
Yeah, but what
It's
if
brilliant.
it's outside my playing window? I can never attack a base.
But
or-
that's why you have different
whatever.
times. I think in the weekends it's on a different time than it is during the week, for example.
Because it was on different tiers as well, the different tier of the size of the
so-
place. So
So if tier 1 is at a certain time, tier 2 is at a certain time, tier 3 is at a certain time. And I see where Bug is coming from, though. That could be that he would never have time to do it. It's
And,
tough.
um,
Where do you find the good?
But we're all on different time zones, and I want to play with my friends from the US. Then I'm stuck with whatever time zone should I be stuck with.
That is true.
It
Good,
may-
but you
it
have
may
NA
work
servers
in
and EU
other
servers
games,
in Black
but
Desert.
I can't see
Yeah.
it happening in whether I agree with it or not. I think they're going to be 24-hour attackable. I can't see how you can work it because of the way that they're trying to make this more a realistic game, and so by doing so, you need to have like the same way as you can. Everyone's arguing that you should be able to be stabbed on any station and that you should be able to sneak a weapon in, and I think it's the same with bases. You can't just say, "Oh, no, my base is safe for some reason between these hours because I don't happen to be online." The only option you've got is to make an org of people that will be online, have other people that can defend it. I mean, hopefully we could have. I would like to think we could maybe have safe zones. That's probably the way around it. So you could build your outpost in a planet that's got a safe zone that won't let people shoot it. But I don't think you could have a base that just for some... Because like, what would be the law behind it? Just for some random reason it's attackable between so-and-so, or it's not attackable between another time.
What you could do is a sort of a war system where you say, I want to attack. The other person has to say, okay, I got time now, let's do it. Or... some sort of a karma system, you know what I mean, with that, because you don't want to bring in the fact that people are constantly shooting people because you can, you know what I mean. There must be a consequence to such a thing.
It's one of those
you know
things
what I mean?
as well. Like we actually haven't got into 3.0. We don't know the scale of the moons literally inside the game. So if
but
you think about
we're gonna find our bases. That's
so-
that's No Man's Sky shit.
So,
we will never find each other.
No, but
We're
it will
both
be
there, but
very
you
hard.
can't find me.
It's going to be
No,
hard to
because
find a
there's
base,
no
though. After,
multiplayer.
If
I
you've got,
feel
like, a
more
little
for
small base
24/7.
hidden, if you find a little small base hidden in a cave, you're not going to find it that well.
Could be that it's because certain commodities are in plain sight, so you need to build a base there. It completely depends. To be honest.
Like
You've got your NPCs as well who can defend.
But then you get then what I would say is you can't man a javelin 24/7. You know what I mean? Or you can't man an Idris 24. You can't expect people to run a ship 24/7. You know what I mean?
Well, that's just the gameplay. You have to, or park it somewhere safe. And the same with the bases. I think you said, you can have automatic defenses, or you can have like shielding on it, or whatever. I mean, there's got to obviously be repercussions. There's got to be like a criminal system. If someone just turns around and blows up your base,
karma system or whatever.
there's got to be a reason to stop them doing that as well. So that's what's going to play to come into play.
It's all one word, guys. Not women, but balance. Where do you find the balance in it all? In the whole thing, where do you get the trolls not to troll, and where do you keep the open gameplay where you can attack 24/7? You need to find a balance in between that, and that's either by putting consequences in or putting a certain system with times in. You can't do it differently. You know what I mean? I would prefer the 24/7 over Buck, but I can also see that people cannot man something 24/7. We all have real lives, you know what I mean? You're not going to stop working and stop doing everything else because you're going to play Star Citizen for the upcoming.
No, but I'm going to put my NPCs to use then.
Yeah, maybe NPC could be a good one, and that's missiles based defense system could be a good one.
Yeah.
So the next question
is from Little Bit Madness.
Is from the champ, which is Madness. Can we fill our ships with water and carry humpback whales?
Oh.
Well, mate, all I can say, Madness, when I get some water in there, I'll give you a call.
Okay, next question.
That was it? Okay, again, I think it's Madness. Will ships have AC? It could get hot flying close to the stars.
What is he doing? Is he?
I think he's bored on holiday. I think he's literally bored on holiday already.
He must be bored
on his first day.
I mean,
will the Cutlass have a better ventilator?
Can we just ignore the Madness questions and go for the?
Yeah, that's it. That's all of them.
That is all the questions. So unless anyone else has got any more, that is all of them. Pretty much. So yeah, that's Madness questions for you. I think there's going to be, like with the life support system, though, that's going to affect.
I have a question for all of you.
Oh god.
So what do you guys think? And no, it's a serious one. I've been thinking about it. What do you guys expect from CIG on the upcoming CitizenCon and maybe Gamescom? What do you guys think we're going to see? What do you guys?
So there was one guy from CIG in my stream on Saturday, and he did, by other things, he mentioned vertical slice. At least that word came up in what he was talking about. So I'm pretty sure that's at least CitizenCon, or by then we will have a demo.
You think it's going to be a demo again? You know what I thought about? We haven't heard anything of Squadron 42 for a while. And I don't know if it's on purpose
I mean with vertical slice, I mean Squadron 42's vertical slice.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I think although they said they canned it because it would be a waste of time, I think they also said that they were that close to posting it out last time that it would make sense to just polish it off, especially now with the animations they've had, polish it off and then let it out.
Would be interesting to see how far they got, because all the ships that we've had lately, I don't know if it's true what I'm saying, but my theory is most of them were needed for Squadron 42, I think the ships that we've seen have been made with the purpose that they needed to be ready for Squadron 42, for the making of Squadron 42, otherwise we would have a lot more transport.
That's why the Polaris has not been touched yet, because it's not in Squadron 42.
But there's no need for it at the moment. It's like the Banu Merchantman, there's no real need for that at the moment. With what we got in the persistent universe, and I can see an Idris that's going to be one of the main ships maybe in the storyline is needed. Gladiuses, Hornets, that sort of things. It's something that we're going to use a lot, I think, and the rest of it is just cinematics, etc. Maybe.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think that's covered it. So I think that's it. We've got all the questions in, so we'll round it off there. And also, because Toby and Bock are probably getting a bit tired now, so we'll end it nicely for them. Try and keep it on time for a change. And we'll just go around and see what you're all doing coming up and what you got going on for the next week ahead. And then we'll end it, I think. So we'll start off with Bio, and Bio, you can go first. You're streaming more, I know, yeah.
Yeah, obviously I'm going to try and stream as much as I can this week. This is my 5-day week, work week, so I'm going to be, 60 hours. So I'm going to be busy, but I'm going to try and, within that time, I'm going to try and make another YouTube video, maybe 2 more YouTube videos. I'm going to just try and get them out as much as I can. I think in the next one I'm going to try and cover the kind of all the talks about the insurance and all that kind of stuff and how it can affect piracy and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be my next video. And then I'm going to be off for 3 weeks. Yes! So you're going to see me a lot on Twitch.
So someone's actually going to do the document for a change.
Oh, nice.
I do the document. But yeah, so it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have plenty of time on my hands. And the Dorset, the very first Dorset Bar Citizen, is on the 27th.
20 when? Sorry.
27th.
So any of you of this month, August.
Yes.
So if anyone in Dorset, Bio is doing a Bar Citizen.
And which part of Germany is this?
Go for it. What part of Germany?
Dorset.
Oh, Dorset.
Yes.
So then it's door closed.
Dorset. It's in Swanage. This time round. Swanage is a little kind of seaside town.
Cool.
Swanage.
Anyway, so anyone there, go see.
You will get a
Bio.
sheep when I order a beer at the bar, yeah?
No, that's Wales. Solitary, what are you up to this week, man? You
A bit of a... hopefully. I got some stuff to sort out that I really want to sort out first. I'm looking into doing a lot more of the creative streaming, so I'm starting a company in graphic design. The website is getting there, and I hope to do some of my projects on stream and hopefully initiate some more people contacting me for graphical work and get that sort of things done. So you will be seeing me stream a lot more of the Photoshop, Illustrator side of things, as well as playing video games. I'm playing a lot of Dark and Light at the moment, Final Fantasy. Although I don't see Final Fantasy really as a streamable game, I'm hoping to bring a bit of Dark and Light, and I just want to play Star Citizen again as well. And hopefully I can do that soon as well. But you will see a lot more of the creative stuff going on. If anyone needs some graphic work done, hit me up. We'll sort it out.
Cool. Yeah, and I've seen.
I will not shave my beard, by the way.
Sol did do his creative stream on when you did your logo and stuff. It was interesting. It was good to watch. So yeah, definitely check Sol out. Make sure you give everybody on the podcast a follow, guys. I mean, you probably mostly are already, but please make sure you do. Exclamation mark pod team to get all the links.
It's a good thing to mention, by the way, before. So this week I will be creating a logo for my good friend and mod Ramty. He does a lot of farming simulator stuff. So we will be creating a logo based on that. So if you guys are interested to see in how that process comes along from the sketch to the end of it, definitely come and check it out and have a chat and drink some beers with me.
Cool.
To answer Foible's question, logo design, most of the things except concept art. I'm still looking into training myself into things like Jay Lee does, but that's very far away. I'm trying it off stream. But on stream, most of it logo design, banner design, and branding, that sort of things.
Cool. And Bockbiertje.
I was distracted by that dimple challenge.
Dimple challenge? What?
Yeah.
The dimple
I
challenge
only know
featured
that.
May I ask, what is a dimple?
Oh, it's whiskey.
Oh, I thought it was like the dimples in your smile.
Do we have dimples?
Just always meant the smiler.
I think I just
As you can see on my face here, like this here. There's like
I just didn't shave well enough because I still have a bit of hair sitting there. I think that's what
I've
you
got
guys see.
3
I
chins.
don't have it on this side.
wow.
So there's a whiskey called Dimple as well, is there?
Yes.
There is.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I'll
It's
do
a
the Dimple
12-year-old.
challenge if it's whiskey. Let's do it.
That's how I learned to drink whiskey. That was basically my first.
So what is the Dimple challenge?
No, that's the cheeks.
No, with whiskey, I mean.
Oh, wait, I don't know.
Oh,
Just
right.
just shut it. Drink.
Oh, well, you said that's how you learned to join whiskey. I thought you did it a certain way with.
No. That was basically one of my first whiskeys I drank.
Ah, right, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, well, I'm going back to streaming.
Yay!
Yay! So, yeah. All thanks to the glasses.
He's like Clark
Yeah,
Kent,
back
he
to
takes them off, he
Star
can't
Citizen.
swim.
got a new profile which I want to test out and tune some more.
Nice.
Hopefully going back to Albion offline this week. In the meantime, I also picked up the Citadel Forged in Fire or Forged with Fire,
Oh.
it's nice. It's not as
Weird as hell.
well, no. It's not full of content, just like
How is your connecting issues?
What's that? The game called you were
Dark and
playing?
light.
Dark and Light. But it's
That's only
pretty neat.
30% finish as well. You know, it's
Mhm.
it's like Star Citizen. It's very early, and
Yeah,
you need to
yeah.
deal with all this shite that happens in it as well. But I enjoy the Dark and Light because I loved Ark as well, and this brings more of the stuff that I missed in Ark, the RPG stuff. It brings it back in together in Dark and Light, and it's running on
Yeah.
a similar engine with a lot of assets that are used from Ark as well. I
Yeah,
think. Or-
yeah.
It's interesting, and it's definitely something to look at for the future.
Absolutely.
I normally wouldn't recommend things, but if you want to get it now, because otherwise they do it like Ark and they charge you £60 for the same game that you paid £11 for a year ago. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not gonna pay for games anymore at the moment. It's just all it's fillers for 3.0.
Oh yeah,
Basically
definitely.
it.
Can't wait for 3.0, man.
Yeah.
Can't
So
wait.
basically that. Oh, and maybe I'm still thinking of it. Doing some role-playing stuff with Miserable. I have to.
Oh, you guys want to do Dungeons and Dragons?
No, well, that's not
Can
what
you
we're
use a
about.
goat?
What role-playing stuff are you guys on about then?
We haven't discussed yet. But we'll-
Oh, okay, so-
I've introduced Miserable to a guy called Burke Black, which we all know, I guess. But, he does some awesome role-playing.
I'm addicted. It's good stuff.
So what are you role-playing? I'm interested now. I'm intrigued.
I don't know.
Well,
He's
I-
gonna be the bitch.
I'm gonna be a
Burt
goat.
Black sounds a bit like something from a certain nature movie. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Then you haven't
I
seen
did
Burke
think-
Black.
I did think of doing. I wasn't going to talk about my section anyway, but in the past I did roleplay in Dark Age of Camelot and Lord of the Rings, but it was like text based, so we didn't do voice stuff like Burt Black's doing and things. But after Bock showed me a couple of the clips and that, I've been watching it, so I'm thinking about maybe giving something a go. I don't know what yet.
But in which game is this? Is this in a certain game or?
Well,
is
he
this
was
just
playing. The one I've been watching mostly is Dark and Light. So he's joined the roleplay server for Dark and Light, Twitch roleplay or something. So I'm thinking of maybe doing that. But I did think about doing.
Watch. I was gonna say, Miz, watch Fadrius as well. He's really good at role. He's really
Roleplay a poor pilot, yeah, I can do that pretty well. So yeah, I did think about maybe doing a stream discussing, like, so for Bock, because he said he doesn't know what to do or how you even go about it and stuff. So I did think about doing maybe a stream to explain about roleplay and how you do it, how you go about it, how you tackle it, that sort of thing. And then also,
Yeah, but you know, it's going to be really hard for me to do that because of the language, English.
well, no, because this is what so I thought if I do a stream and discuss it with you or something like that, we can talk
listen
about
to
how
this.
to do it, how you go about building up a little bit of a backstory, because it's not all about so Burt Black does it and he's got accents and a character things in it, so there's all a lot bit about that. You don't necessarily have to be great at English, you don't have to put on a funny voice and things like that. There's lots of different ways to roleplay.
He's a traveler from a far land. You know what I mean? From an exotic land where they have special herbs. that will bring you into ecstasy. No, mate, and this might sound stupid, let your creative mind flow, man, and just
Yeah, but I don't
think of
have a
something.
creative mind. That's the whole
Mate,
point.
we'll get you
We'll sort
sorted.
something out.
I'll
We'll
send
sort
you-
something out.
I'll send you to a certain shop in the Netherlands, and you take a couple of sips, and you will be creative. You will be creative. No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. No, but just think of anything that, it's. I don't know. Maybe
It's not
for
as
me
hard
it's
as
easier.
people think, and like
You can
people
always
worry
roleplay
about it.
grass.
And
You
I
can
think
always
there's
roleplay
different-
grass. The only thing you have to do is this.
I'll go for the goat then.
No, because like you could. We'll explain it anyway. I'll go back to that in a minute. Let's go. First of all, are you done what you're doing, Book? Yeah. So Toby, do you want to tell us what you're getting up to, and then I'll go back to the roleplay thing.
So I'll be doing probably daily Star Citizen streams again, and on Tuesday, of course, mentioned before, the sciencey stream with Avalon and Bock, and around 9 p.m. Central European time, and that will be my week basically. And training. Oh, by the way, and you guys noticed that I'm practicing more with people in the PU, flying and dogfighting.
You're becoming a evil bastard.
And so I can only, well, of course, it's way too early to see how it will be in 2 years or 3 years or something. But everyone should be able to defend themselves or even evade anything if they are being attacked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
May I ask, Toby, this science thing? Are you guys basically doing science projects, or are you talking about the science behind things, or what?
Well, we last week was basically our first thing, and it was basically we took just questions from chat mainly, and we had some stuff we showed about simulations because Avalon does computational astrophysics. He writes his own simulations for that stuff, and it's pretty amazing stuff. And we want to combine that basically with Star Citizen about for example jump points, etc.
I thought we could not expect like exploding volcanoes like in science class when we were younger.
No.
I don't know, but I think it's definitely something I want to see, man. So that's Thursday. What time?
Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central European time.
Oh, mate, but I want to see Miss paint figures and does Marius Dell stories on Tuesday.
Yeah, but that's way after.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Listen, that is going to be Tuesday is going to be my new Friday evening. You know what I mean? I'm going to watch this stuff, then I can watch Miss afterwards. The only thing I need is then Madness and his tour guide stuff after that, okay? Or bio.
Oh, Madness again.
I like the Gladius. Remember, I am not Magnus.
No, but for the people watching, definitely go and check all these guys out.
That's his way of saying sorry now, guys.
If you're not science-minded, you can go and watch them, and you just look there confused, but they're still entertaining to watch. So it's good. It's good stuff. Definitely go and check them out. And if you're not following Toby, then where the fuck have you been, basically?
Right.
Come on now.
He's the up-and-coming German community manager.
I remember when I first watched
The
him,
unofficial-
I was thinking, what the fuck? There's a talking
bear.
But
Where's the
answer
polar
any
bear
question
gone?
you have.
I was like, what the
Think about
fuck? I love the shirt. I think that's what I first said to you, wasn't it? I love your shirt, man.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, finally, for me, yes, I'll be doing, hopefully stream tomorrow during the day, and then my painting stream in the evening. So we'll be talking, I'll hopefully talk to Des and roast him a little bit about some roleplay. And he plays D&D, and I'll be painting the D&D figures. So we'll chat about roleplay then, and I'll look at, I don't know what game to do. I may get Dark and Light and then just make a character and discuss the roleplay aspects of that and how to make a character, how to do. I'm not a professional. I've just done it for a few years, made a few stories, ran a guild in roleplay, but I'm by far not an expert. But I'm definitely happy to discuss ways of creating a character backstory. It's all a bit about how you can just like ideas and mannerisms of your character, maybe give them something to hate, that type of thing. So we'll discuss that. And, maybe I'll just talk to Bock and see if there's a game we can find that we can play and do some practice role-playing and just have a laugh.
Listen, miss, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? That's something I always wanted to get into, but I could never think of people
Goat
that
Simulator, dude. Goat Simulator. Goat Simulator.
Yeah, we'll
Just
play.
go roleplay on there.
It's made for you, Buck. No, I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm painting the models for Des, and he plays it a few times.
Yes, I need to hit you up, man. You need to hit me up with this.
I have no idea. It's something I've always wanted to play, but never known anybody to play it with. So I
want to be a wizard from the great upper lands of
Wizard.
I want to be a wizard.
Sorry, and I want to cast spells.
I have it, Avalon. I have Goat Simulator. Played 5 minutes.
It's
and what is Madness doing this week?
fucking doing bugger all on holiday. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, so thanks guys for watching. Thanks everybody for all the follows and everything. We will be back next week, and I think is it you, Bio, hosting next week?
Think so. Yeah. Think so.
Okay, so we'll be on Bio's channel next week.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to the burn down session of CIG's podcast, CIG's ATVs and stuff. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, again, thanks for the follows. Please make sure you follow everybody on the podcast here, !mod podcast, to make sure you go and give them all a follow. We're going to go and host somebody. I'm just going to have a look.
I got someone.
I'll get the raids ready.
I
always do.
Bot, can I just not box shit? Bio, can I just say
when you do
when you do a raid,
Not so many. Not so many
bombs. You did it on like Astropub, and it was just like it was crazy. Just a couple of lines.
I know.
It's
and
fine.
it was
not
funny.
10 lines per person. All right?
It was
just
funny.
A couple of lines. It's fine.
It was funny. He laughed.
Burned out.
It was funny.
Yeah, they basically
burned down for what?
Gonna find
Boys, I found someone here that I think was watching the podcast earlier and has one viewer. I think we should bomb him.
Who?
Domi Tonami?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Shall we?
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Domi's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Let's give him some love.
Don't think I've seen him.
Okay, is that better for you? Is that better? The little small one. Was that
Yeah,
too
that's
long?
fine. That's all you need.
That's what she said.
I done it, guys.
Okay, so guys, if you can go and show him some love. He's only got one viewer, so we appreciate you going and saying hello to him. Give him a follow.
Give him a follow.
Say we sent you. Do the little raid, and we hope to see you all again.
Can you copy the rating again, Madness?
What? Goodbye, everybody.
Bio.
Sit around the verse.
It's probably already gone, but goodbye.
Put that on in the background, right? Pull it up. Oh! Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Why'd you host me? No!
Why'd you do it?
Oh, man.